closeout event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $4,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 months on new 18 Silverados, including 2,500 and 3,500. 0% for 72 on Volt, Cruise, and Trax. And 2019 Equinox. New 19 Equinox. $245 per month lease. Only $999 plus taxes and fees. Up to $5,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 on all new Tahoes and Suburbans. Hurry in. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. Black Friday.
Fletcher in Ankeny. Words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny.
Hey everyone, this is Dan Holm with Ankeny Fanatic. Be sure to check out our website this fall for the best local high school sports coverage around. Whether you're a Hawk or a Jaguar, we'll be covering everything from cross country, man that dude is fast, to volleyball and everything in between. Well hey Kenna, welcome back. You don't want to miss any of the hard-hitting action. Come visit us at AnkenyFanatic.com.
There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing. 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing. Your size, your style, we've got it all.
It's time for live high school basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Young drives the lane, scoops it up short, down in, and kiss off the glass, good.
High school basketball on CISN.TV is brought to you by Schottenkirk Chevrolet, West Side Auto Pros, Mid-American Energy. Now let's go courtside for high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Good evening and welcome to Iowa High School basketball action. It is the crosstown rivalry. It's the Centennial Jaguars heading south to play their old friend, the Ankeny Hawks, inside Ankeny High School. Paul Yeager on this Friday night. It is a cool Friday night as we're below 30. Good thing we're not playing outdoors. We're going to play this one inside where you're going to have short sleeves real soon. It's a good thing that Andy Pollock has no hair because he would be sweating right through it right now. Andy Pollock with me on the call tonight. And, Andy, I know you had no idea I was going to start with hair.
You caught me off guard with that one. I
like to
that
keep
wasn't
you
in
guessing.
my notes.
Andy Pollock, Paul Yeager, Peter Tarpey here with this call tonight. It's Ankeny and Centennial, Andy. This is a game, 6 years that they have been playing this game, and almost every single time in every single sport, it goes down to the wire, and it is intense.
It's interesting if you talk to the coaches on both sides of this rivalry, like over the last 5-6 years, the games they're always close, and the biggest thing that you can expect out of these games is something that you don't expect. It's going to happen at some point. We get started with this Gals game tonight, and that's probably the side of the rivalry between these two schools that's been the least close up until last year when Centennial needed a buzzer beater to win the game. But, whether we're talking about football, boys basketball, just all the different sports that these two teams, these kids grow up playing with each other, against each other, in basically every sport with the clubs amongst Ankeny, and here they are tonight on the same court now playing against each other.
Andy, this is a game you are very familiar with, the Valley-Dowling rivalry. This Ankeny and Centennial is just as good as, say, Iowa City High and West. It's in town, and whatever the new high school name will be in Waukee, I'm sure that one will pick up in intensity. Early on in this rivalry, you saw a little bit of two sides of the town, saying this is our chance. I mean, you had so many kids in these schools. Look at how many great basketball players we have tonight, great athletes in every sport now getting a chance to play. And tonight, you have number 10, the Centennial Jaguars, and number 13, the Ankeny Hawks. So not only could you have a super team, sure, but you've got two teams in the top 15.
And it gives everyone, like you mentioned, it gives everyone a chance now in town to play. And it's been fun. I mean, when we're at halftime, by the time we get to halftime of this girls' game tonight, this will be one of the greatest atmospheres, and I speak in a little bit of hyperbole here, but this could be one of the best atmospheres in girls basketball for sure in the entire country tonight in this gym.
And you had a chance to talk to head coach Scott DeYoung earlier today, and, Coach has been in this gym. He used to be the head coach in this gym before they split when they made the new high school. He was an Ankeny Hawk. The banners that hang from state champions for basketball most of them are his.
Yeah, he's got pictures up here somewhere.
Yeah.
and a lot of gals that he's coached are in the hallways here as well. Yep.
And they are, so he's very familiar with this one. I know he had told you today that this is one of the greatest atmospheres these girls, one of the greatest life experiences they're ever going to have is tonight.
And for, if anybody who's been a part of the female athletics in this town know that the city of Ankeny supports their girls' athletics just as much, if not some cases even more, than the men's athletics or the guys' athletics here in town. And you go to a lot of these games, and early on, there's a lot of people that show up to watch both of these teams anyway. And like you mentioned right now, we got two top 15 teams. This isn't just a focus on the northern part of Polk County tonight. This is statewide implications for everything going on here.
You're looking at the Jaguars. They are on the left side of your screen right now. They are warming up. Centennial, 10th ranked, 3-2 overall, with wins over Fort Dodge, Des Moines Abe Lincoln, and Des Moines Hoover, with losses to two of the best in the state in Southeast Polk and Valley. Both of those teams have been number one at some point early on in this season. Centennial led. They'll start tonight. Taylor Runshie at the point. She's only a junior. She's been playing since a freshman. And, oh, by the way, if things don't go well, I think Dad will get in her ear on the sideline as one of the assistant coaches.
It's always interesting to have, and you see it quite a bit, these guys that coach for a long time or the ladies that coach for a long time, and one of the great things, if you talk to them, the great experiences they have is when their own son or daughter is able to come up and they're able to coach them, and they embrace that a lot. And Taylor, in her own right, I mean, she's not just a basketball player. We've seen her have a lot of success on the softball field as well, so it's not something that she needs Dad right there. He's always there to let her know. Right? I've been around him at some of the sports. He's always there, but she's done a nice job of blazing her own trail.
And Taylor's going to be trying to feed the ball inside to Rachel Schoen. 12 points on the season per game for Rachel. Injuries have been something that have hampered a lot of her career, but when she is healthy, she is a handful for any defense.
She's a very scrappy player, and she's fun to watch, and you'll see her on the screen tonight quite a bit. You're going to hear her name a bunch. She'll keep a lot of balls alive, tipping them and corralling them in as well. The key right now for Ankeny then will be to see how they can really keep her under wraps, because she does, as hard-nosed as she is, she does have a nice touch to finish around the basket as well.
Well, one that can finish around the basket but can also pull out and shoot the ball is Sarah McCullough for the Ankeny Hawks. 15.8 points a game. She's been in double figures every game of this young season. The Hawks have beat Des Moines East, North, Fort Dodge, and Abe Lincoln, with a loss to one of the best teams in Class 4A, the Mason City Mohawks. So not maybe as strong of a schedule, but sometimes, Andy, just showing that, yes, the ball can go through the hoop. Yes, we can win a game means a lot more to a younger team or a team trying to find its footsteps than maybe playing some of the best early on in the season.
And if you look at the schedule of these two teams, I mean, Ankeny's got the signature win, the Hawks do, and that's their win over East just last week. I mean, they've got, East is a very good team. They were a top 15 team at the time when Ankeny beat them. And you mentioned Sarah McCullough. She's a mismatch, 6'1", plays on the wing. She's signed with the University of Northern Iowa. She can shoot the three very well. She's just under 30% shooting the three. But, oh, yeah, she can also post up inside and, like I said, create that mismatch. You'll see her. The key will be right now, she's going to be called upon to defend a lot of the length of Centennial, and Centennial as a whole has them out-heighted tonight. She's going to be called upon to defend that. If she can stay out of foul trouble, that's going to be a huge deal for Ankeny.
And that is something that you obviously know that Coach Scott DeYoung is going to be doing, is trying to get her off the floor. But McCullough, she told us earlier this season, Andy, when you were busy coaching football, we were doing football on CISN here at Ankeny and Centennial this year, and I asked Sarah, hey, how's volleyball going? Good. I go, how about basketball? Oh, I've been practicing. I go, I noticed towards the end of the year you're shooting the ball a lot more. And she goes, oh, yeah, I've been working on my threes, and I'm hoping Coach Mack, I said, well, wait a minute. Does Coach Mack know you're wanting to shoot more threes? Not so much. Before the interview was over, Coach Mack had texted her saying, really, you want to shoot more threes?
And she's been doing that. She puts up 5 a game. So, I mean, she will take that shot if it's available.
And if we act up tonight, Grandpa here to our left is going to have a word or two to say for us. And also for the Hawks, you're looking at Jolynn Keeker, Kayla Pitts, and Holly Trimble, and Abigail Johnson to round out the starters. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We have starting lineups between the Ankeny Hawks and the Jaguars of Centennial High School basketball. We got a doubleheader tonight. The boys game, that one should be good as well. We're live tonight from Ankeny. This is high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Welcome back to Ankeny High School. We're just moments away from the starting lineups, and they're going to kill the lights and build up the drama that really, frankly, doesn't need much building up. Let's go down.
Good evening,
Courtside.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ankeny High School. This is the Hawks Nest, the home of Ankeny basketball. Tonight's contest is being sponsored by Ankeny Dental Professionals. At this time, we'd like to welcome our guests for tonight's CIML conference matchup. Hawkette fans, please put your hands together as we welcome the fans, players, and coaches of the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. Assistant coaches for the Jaguars are Dave Runchy, Dennis Albertson, and John Mayfield, along with Andy Fain. The head coach for Centennial, Mr. Scott DeYoung. The assistant coaches for the Hawkettes are Seth Haggerty, Cole Engel, and Amanda Kinzenbaugh. for your Hawkettes, Mr. Drew McAnally. And now it's time for your Ankeny Digital Professionals starting lineups. First, for the visiting Jaguars, a 5'8" junior, number 5, Taylor Brunchy. A 6'1" senior, number 21, Rachel Schoen. A senior, standing 6 foot even, number 23, Kenna Sauer. A 5'8" freshman, number 25, Cleo Murray. And a 5'10" junior, number 40, Meg Burns. And now the starting lineup for your Ankeny Hawkettes. A 5'10", make that a 5'9" sophomore, number 30, Abby Johnson. A 5'10" junior, number 4, Holly Trimble. A 5'8" junior, number 5, Kayla Pitts. A senior, standing 5'9", number 22, Jalen Yeager. And a 6'1" senior, number 25, Sarah McCullough. Tonight's officials, as assigned by the CIML, Will Dotson, Tyler Eason, and Kevin Nantulia. Our athletic trainer, Ellen Sutphin of Ankeny PT ARC. And now, if everyone would please rise, remove your hats as we turn and face the flag for the playing of our national anthem.
That won't be the last time that we'll have everybody standing before the end of the night as our starting lineups for the visiting Jaguars of Centennial. Taylor Runchy, Rachel Schoen, Kenna Sauer, Cleo Murray, and Meg Burns. The Hawks will counter with Holly Trimble, Kayla Pitts, Jalen Keeker, Sarah McCullough, and Abigail Johnson. That's Trimble, Pitts, Keeker, McCullough, and Johnson against Runchy, Schoen, Sauer, Murray, Burns. Paul Yeager, Andy Pollock here as we ready to go as this tip comes off. Andy, keys to this contest.
Well, it's going to be Centennial trying to pound the ball inside, and the question is, will the Hawks be able to stop them from doing that? And if so, then can Centennial hit the outside shot? The Hawks are going to try to push the ball, run it, and they're going to try to get their shooters lost in transition. And if they can get them lost in transition, look out because they shoot the three very well.
One team likes to push the tempo. The other wants nothing to do with the word or the way the pace of play is. Sauer will stand in center circle with McCullough. And Tyler Eason will take the basketball and throw it up, and we're ready to play. The Hawks retain it, and that's Trimble. She'll run the offense now, going left to right. The Hawks in their all-white uniforms, cutting early on, trying to set tempo. McCullough thinks three, guarded by Schoen, kind of the matchup we thought we'd see on the defensive side. Johnson drives and kicks. Johnson now back for three. Good.
You see Centennial, really their bigs especially, really sagging off in the zone, but when they switch, they've got to identify those shooters and come back out and catch them.
Johnson's three gives the Hawks the early on advantage.
Here's the answer, the 2-3 zone. They're going to really pack it in and force Centennial to beat them from the outside.
In years past, Centennial's been very good at beating teams that try to do that with their good outside shooting. It's all a matter of how you can get that ball, see it go in, build some confidence. Schoen drives. Before she can pass, she's whistled for the travel.
It's the right look. She says she just took that extra step, got a little bit indecisive as she took it into the lane. That's where you want to get the ball, though, in that zone to beat it, right there at the top of the free throw line.
Jaguars come out, full court, man-to-man pressure. Pitts is allowed to bring it up. Keeker has her dribble pulled up. She's gets rid of it. Pitts drives, gets around her defender, and makes it into the hoop.
Yeah, really nice move by Pitts as she went baseline. Just really no one there on the help defense, and a nice kiss off the glass.
Schoen was open for a moment. So was Sauer. The ball goes off the backboard, not a shot, and ripped away, and it's going to be a turnover. And boy, I think Sauer thought she was not the last one to touch it, but the official says, yes, you were.
Almost too much trying to force it inside right now. You can see the Hawks just really packing it in. It's no secret. That's where they're going to try to go. For Centennial, it's going to be a key now. Can they get Burns freed up somewhere on the perimeter for the three-point shot? She's their shooter in this scenario.
Runchie playing defense there on Pitts. Leaves it for Johnson, who had a three early on. McCullough sets the pick. McCullough hasn't touched the basketball the last two times down the court. Pitts for three. No good. Johnson fights. Schoen clears.
Hawks getting some nice mismatches against the man-to-man defense of the Jags with their false motion they're using up top.
Schoen for three. Off the mark. McCullough clears. Schoen two not very smooth looks at the basket, and her first two trips down the court. Pitts drives and scores.
Just a little stutter move. That's going to cause DeYoung to call a timeout. No adjustment on the stutter. It caused her defender that came over on the help. She left when she stuttered, thought she had more help, and Pitts just that's a great move on the baseline.
So if you're Coach Drew McAnally in the huddle right now, you're going, hey, we're up 7-0, and McCullough doesn't have any points.
They've been doing it's been Pitts, right? She's the one, her handling of the baseline. But they're doing such a great job. They're in constant motion down here on the offensive end of the court, and they're getting the Jags. They're creating all these different mismatches that they want. You've got the bigs for the Jags covering the post players, and as they switch, I think you're going to see Centennial come out and have to make an adjustment on defense and probably move to some sort of a zone look.
In this timeout, Coach DeYoung just saying, hey, we're fine.
Correct. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's way too early. It's a long game. Way too early to panic too much. Now, you have to make some adjustments, otherwise it can get out of hand in a hurry, though.
Jags trail 7-0. Burns to the far corner. Kind of a risky pass.
Skip pass, long one.
3-point on the way and good.
Yeah, if Murray can hit some of those and loosen up that zone defense, that will help out the Jags a bunch. It's just a little bit late getting you over. There's a hand in her face. Just a nice shot by Murray.
The 7-0 run is ended, and the lid is taken off the Jaguar basket. Back to Johnson.
Looks like it really sagging off on the inside.
Keeker kicks, and then that time, Pitts. Jaguar fans thought she may have traveled before that, but now she's whistled.
And I really think if you notice right now, the Jags are defending the baseline a lot more. Early, the Hawks had no problem running that baseline, and now you see a lot more concerted effort to attack that. That's not a good pass.
Burns loses it, and then when she tried to throw it in, it hits the line.
Murray says, my bad, right after that. She knew it. That's a too long a pass and over some long arms of Sarah McCullough.
Well, Kayla Pitts has been playing basketball. She's only a junior, but she's been playing a lot since she was a freshman. This year on the Ankeny roster, not one freshman listed as of now. That's something that Coach McAnally, a luxury he has not had the last couple of years as he's tried to rebuild this program. Nice drive to the hole. Too strong by Keeker.
Keeker's not going to miss too many of those. A nice stutter move up top.
Oh, nice cut to Sauer. Dribbles and kicks. Scoop. No good, and clearing it out is McCullough.
I think the Jags are getting their shots off a little bit earlier in the possession than they'd really like to.
Trimble's three is no good. Sauer clears it out. 4 minutes now left to play first quarter.
I can already tell I'm going to get Trimble and Pitts mixed up quite a bit. They look an awful lot alike from up here. One wearing 4, one wearing 5. They look like they could be sisters.
The long pullback brunette ponytail doesn't help either.
Exactly. And my eyesight doesn't help either.
Inside to Schoen. Kick it around Burns.
Burns is a shooter. That inside-out game, as they get it to Schoen, she draws a lot of attention down low. You have to double team her. She's very savvy around the basket. If Burns can hit some of those, that's going to be tough on the Hawks defense.
7-0 countered by 6-0. 7-6 now our score. Ankeny holds on to a lead. McCullough sets the pick and gets the ball. Drives, taken away, Sauer.
Sauer didn't want to be dribbling the basketball. She was very antsy to give that up.
Sauer missed the basketball campaign last year with an injury. Outstanding volleyball player. McCullough, left, is fouled.
Speaking of volleyball, that looked like a Sauer spike right there. Coming over on the help defense. You know, they're really good. You almost see the Jags right now almost too aggressive on defense, and they're really giving up the drives, expecting some help, but the spacing for the Hawks is really good, and the help is late getting there, and that's why they've been able to get some of the shots they've got.
Clean game so far. That's only the first foul, and we've played almost 4 minutes, or over 4 minutes already. McCullough misses the first. Harrington comes in for Ankeny. McCullough makes the second. Her first points.
See Alexandria Kiana Harris coming into the game. Off the bench, averages double digits. She's been a valuable member off the bench for several years for the Jags.
Inside kick to Kiana Harris. It's taken away.
Got a little impatient against that zone. It collapses a lot on you. You really got to know what you're doing right away when you get the ball.
Drive and the left. Great defense by Murray to prevent what should have been an easy 2 for the Hawks. Burns for 3.
They've got to identify her quicker.
That 40 is deceiving. You think she's going to be playing post, but she's very comfortable on the wing. Johnson's shot no good. Rebound, Sauer tipped it to Harris.
Sauer may have got away with a little bit of an arm right there. She's so long down low, but she can't be swatting as much. She's going to get in foul trouble in a hurry if she keeps doing that. That's where they want it.
Lily King into the game now, and she asks for the basketball. Under 2 minutes now. Backdoor, Sauer.
Great move against the zone. You know, Sauer ended up getting Abby Johnson on her hip on the backside of that 2-3 zone. It's not an entry pass that you see a whole lot, but across the lane and got her on her hip for the wide open layup.
First tie of the game at 8. And it's going to be a jump ball on the drive by Ashley Harrington. She was tied up.
Going back to that last play down here, that's a move. I saw her. She gave the head nod. As soon as she had Johnson on her hip, she gave the head nod. That if you're watching the NBA, that's an alley-oop right there. That's what it ended up being to Sauer, and I'm not sure Sauer couldn't go up and put that down as athletic as she is, but you could just see that the nose go up in the air and gave her the head nod. She knew right where she wanted it.
Need a couple of big baskets to get the crowd going here for the Ankeny Hawks. They've kind of let a 7-0 lead escape, and now we're tied at 8.
I like this zone defense that they're running right now, though. Very patient. Not much attacking right now from Centennial. There's really no holes in it right now in the areas that they've got it. They got to figure out a way to get it to the top of that circle.
Swinging it around.
No rush.
And a Coach DeYoung team, they'll absolutely hold the basketball for as long as you let them.
And that's where they want to get it, but Kiana Harris was just too far outside. It really didn't put any stress on that defense.
This is the thing that frustrates a coach when you're trying to get the ball back. All they're doing is playing keep away. Sauer, great move, too strong. And then a putback by Kiana Harris.
They played so good of defense for so long in that possession, and then Sauer on a little head fake allows her to go baseline, and that's when you get the rotation on the defense, and that's where you get your holes.
First lead of the game for the Jags comes with under 40 seconds. Nearly a travel by Mashoff. McCullough has it. Looking for Vasek down there. Or Vasek, that is.
They're going to be content to get one here with 15 seconds to go.
Kicking. McCullough, 3. No good, rebound, 10 seconds. Tempo pushed up here. Truman. That's King. 3 ball, 1 second. Good if it goes. Woo. Centennial leads 10-8 after 1 quarter here at Ankeny High School.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we've got it all.
In Ankeny, words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny. The Fletcher.
Ankeny opened up a 7-0 lead. Timeout Jaguars come back on an 8-0 run of their own. Tie it at 8 and lead 10-8 as we begin quarter 2. Paul Yeager, Andy Pollock here from Ankeny High Gym. Ankeny started well, Andy, but the Jag defense really dialed up the intensity.
And that's where it's happened for them, definitely on the defensive end of the court. Again, you see it right there, just a lot more concerted effort on protecting the baseline.
Hawks trying to penetrate, and then they're going to turn it over. Great defense out front, Taylor Runchie.
She got in that denial mode, and really just you get it's tough, the communication between who's got the ball and who they're trying to get it to. The visual's not all there, and it makes it a tough pass to make.
3 ball from the corner, in and out, no good, and there were 3 Jags there for the board, Andy.
Burns, they're going to have to find her. I'm telling you, she is going to hit a lot of those shots. Here, another chance again.
She cuts the distance in half. The floater gets her own board, and she's fouled by Ellie Mashoff.
And that's the tough part of the zone defense right now. You don't necessarily have someone that you're responsible for on the boards, and you see the Jags with second and third opportunities on this possession, and you see McCullough quick. She's going to get back in the game. She's the force on the boards for the Hawks.
The free throw is up and good for Meg Burns. That's their first free throw of the night.
Abby Johnson coming back in as well for the Hawks, and she's a 12-point per game scorer as well. Going to try to figure out a way to get the ball close to the hoop right now for the Hawks.
Meg Burns hits both free throws, and it's now a 4-point advantage.
Pitts here, she was the one that really made it go in that early 7-0 run that they were on. They've got her back in the game to handle the ball now.
Lily King whistled for the foul. Team second here.
Like you said, very clean game so far. Very clean game.
Kayla Pitts with the basketball across midcourt. Team trails by 4. Hawks haven't scored in a while. Last point was a free throw by McCullough. And right now, Coach McAnally thinks that was an eternity ago.
You look at the Jags defense, they're going to try to make someone besides Sarah McCullough beat them. Burns is on her, really trying to deny the basketball. Everybody else switching on screens. Burns has McCullough no matter where she goes.
Trimble, now Johnson. Pulls up, McCullough, drop step, turnaround, scoop, no good.
Drew a double team. That's where she's going to have to recognize that right away. I mean, it's not a bad look, but you've got somebody open down here in the corner.
Kiana Harris the rebound, and now the Jags go to work. 6.5 to play, second quarter. Kiana Harris recovers. It goes off the foot of McCullough, out of bounds. It'll stay Centennial basketball.
It's interesting, the Jags early on, and this isn't unique to this game, they sometimes have trouble handling inlet passes, inlet, outlet, inbound passes. Just can't get a handle. Here's a chance to run.
Pushing the tempo is Pitts. She drives, shoots, and scores.
Good finish. She fought through a lot of contact right there, Pitts did. Nothing called. I don't know if it was enough to call it, but just fought through a lot of contact to put that in.
Lead down to 2 for the Jags. Runchie and King kind of just trading passes back and forth. As Schoen tries to make some type of space down low. Right now, it's Holly Trimble.
There's no baseline runner. They've got to get someone down in the corner. That's where they've opened up that's where the passing lanes open up.
They're trying to do the passes. They go over the top sometimes. And if you jump that pass, Burns wide open. 3. Got it again.
That's so tough against the zone defense. It's not a pass you're going to teach your junior high girls to make as you coach them across the entire court, but they really don't have the length at the top of that 2-3 zone to get a hand on it, and there's enough zip on it that it leaves Burns wide open. It just creates such a quick transition on defense.
Inside entry pass to Pitts. There is a foul. That's going to be on King, and that's number 2 for Lily.
And recognizing the mismatch as they try to get it into Pitts. She's got a 3 or 4 inch height advantage right there on the switch when King was covering her, or defending her, I should say.
Timeout taken.
And the timeout is on the floor. 15-10 is our score. Centennial in the lead right now. The Jaguars won early games against Fort Dodge, Abraham Lincoln, and Des Moines Hoover, but a stretch against Southeast Polk and Valley. And Valley came to Centennial on Tuesday night with a 13-point win. A lot of that was free throws down the stretch. Valley, I got a chance to see them earlier, Andy, against Johnston. I think Valley is probably one of the top 2 teams on this side of the state.
And it's interesting, we say Valley, and then the weird part is, there's still a lot of, there's a lot of other talent that someone could dethrone them. I'm in total agreement with you. I think Valley, they're right up there. I think it's them and Southeast Polk, but we've already seen Southeast Polk fall to Dowling, who Valley then beat. So
right.
That's
McCullough inside, she falls and she travels. Burns was straight up on the defense and a turnover.
The Hawks and they're going to really have to figure out how to get McCullough involved more in this game right now. She's got 1 point so far, and we're almost 1.5, almost 3/4 of the way through the first half, and she just hasn't got a whole lot of touches. No. And when she has, they're not in the area that she wants to have the basketball.
And it always seems like Ankeny's kind of just not felt comfortable with the basketball. McCullough's going to be called for the foul on the entry pass to Sauer.
And it actually started once again Sauer with the ball up here. Sauer was able to get Trimble on her hip, and it was again, she gave her that little nod again that we talked about the first time, and just got her on the hip, and great recognition by Runchie to get it into her. Sauer's a player early on in the season as I watch him play. We mentioned that she's a Missouri commit in volleyball, and really working hard to develop that touch around the basket, because she's got a really good feel of getting herself open and getting some open looks, and really a bruiser around the basket too, and just hasn't developed yet that touch.
Sauer misses both. Schoen gets it once, twice, and on the 3rd time she's fouled.
Schoen's a baller. I wonder a lot about it, if her health is good the last couple of years, what the college future looks like for her. Some knee issues that she's had, but she is, I think her best ball is in front of her, and I love watching the scrappiness that she plays with.
And I think it was an ankle on another injury. I mean, it has just been everything for her. They had to get a second diagnosis at one point on one of those injuries.
And you feel bad for high school kids in particular. You only have 4 years to play, and she had to sit out. I think it was 2 full seasons basically, right, that she sat out there.
Basically. Jaguars come with the pressure, up 7 now, under 4.5 to play in the second quarter.
They always know where McCullough is. They got a couple sets of eyes on her everywhere she goes.
Like you said, Andy, it's going to have to be somebody else. As Trimble gets it to Johnson, that's going to be short, almost a pass. McCullough goes up strong and gets one.
And that's a mismatch down there. They've got Murray covering her, and And Murray, just a freshman, she's giving up 3-4 inches down there as well. And it wasn't an entry pass, it was off the rebound, almost Rodman-esque right there for her to get go grab that rebound off the air ball and put it up and in. And really from the start, Murray was trying to follow her to keep her from getting the shot up, but just so strong for McCullough to get it up and in.
McCullough headed to the University of Northern Iowa, who Tanya Warren's squad had some bad news this week, losing Megan Moss for the remainder of the season to an injury. Moss played at Western Dubuque. Reminds me a lot of McCullough in physical appearance and style of play. So you can see what Coach Warren likes in her, and it's hard not to like McCullough's game. Schoen on the drop step. Turnaround, she's tied up. Had it for a long time, thought the Ankeny faithful. But Centennial will just pull it out and do it again.
Very strong to rip it out of there because, yeah, there's a couple different sets of hands on the ball.
Inside, now outside. 3 ball, no good. Tipped away Sauer right into the hands of Johnson. Not numbers. Ankeny will pull up, shoot the 3 in transition, and it won't go for Harrington. Rebound and a foul going to be called on Ankeny.
Not sure that was either going to be Johnson or Keeker that's going to get called for it. They both looked at each other because I think there was contact between both of them. They are going to get Keeker for it. I feel like we've had a good pace to this game. Definitely favoring the Jags so far.
I was actually going to say, I don't know if this pace favors either team because neither one doing what they really can do. Now, there's been about 2 possessions where Centennial has just really taken the air out of the ball. And then there's been a couple of possessions. Ankeny has done what they want, get a shot in transition. But I think right now, Andy, defenses are winning in this game.
No question, and then we've seen McCullough really, for the most part, get taken out of the game so far.
Oh,
there's
nice
a good
try.
look. Yep.
Oh, and missed the open layup. That would have been huge. Won't go for Harrington.
Their chance against this zone right now, a lot of patience. And I don't think the Hawks have taken bad shots so far when they're taking quick shots, but I don't think they're bad shots. They just haven't been able to get them to fall. That was a great look there.
Sauer at the top. Now on the right block. McCullough straight up on her.
Man, those are dangerous passes.
Rebound McCullough. She fends off Taylor Runchie, and now we'll run the point.
That's not the look they want after being so patient on offense the entire time. Oh, nice look.
Floater by Abigail Johnson. She now has 5, and the lead is cut to 2.
You see 40 seconds taken off down here and then come to the other end, and 5
like 4.
seconds in, you get a 4-foot jumper.
That's what Coach McAnally said he wants to do. 3 ball, no good. In and out, rebound. Nice putback up. That is Cleo Murray.
Murray sneaks in there again in between that 2-3 zone. She's kind of sneaks between a couple defenders. Burns another shot in and out. She's had a lot of those tonight. I mean, spins in and fires right back out.
They're not going to miss the whole game. Those are going to fall.
Correct. Burns fighting off injury. That was one of Coach DeYoung's concerns. Is she's missed about 75% of her practice time here recently, and just that's not a lot of shots that you're getting up then at that point, and shots at full strength. So she's close on those. She's gonna have to find her legs though.
Runchie with it, top of the key, back to Burns, inside to Harris. They really move it around. If you were doing this game on the radio, you'd be worn out talking about how many passes Centennial does, and that's fundamental basketball. I mean, that is something that Coach DeYoung works on. When you say Coach DeYoung, I think almost everybody else will say that team is so fundamentally sound each and every season.
And these shots that they're getting are good shots. That they're wide open three-pointers, and it's their shooters. It's Murray and it's Burns that are taking them. They just haven't been able to get them to fall here recently. Hit a couple early on, but haven't been able to get them to fall here. To the Hawks' credit, they haven't deviated from their game plan. They are keeping everything in tight, and they're going to make them beat them from the outside.
Nash off, guarded by King. Now Trimble. Coming up on a minute to play, Andy. Lead is 4 for the Jags. Nice drive. Rebound, no. Cleared by Robin, who's into the game for Centennial.
Haven't seen her play much this year.
Going with an even smaller, they got Schoen in there and Harris, giving Sauer a break, and on the entry there's going to be a foul on Ankeny. And I think that's going to be, it's going to be against Vasic.
they've had success, the Jags, when that entry pass comes from this elbow up here down to the opposite corner, the opposite block. And it's just a job, and we saw Kiana Harris do it there. We saw Sauer do it before. Just a case of getting the defender on their hip.
Oh, wide open was Robin. Inside, Schoen, collapsed on, yeah.
It takes some time here. Yeah, Schoen and Harris really very physical down low.
Robin wanted to shoot it, but she saw that it was still a 3 as the first number on the clock.
Especially with a lead, that's tough against a DeYoung squad because this is the stuff that'll happen.
Harris thinks, I got it. McCullough puts Schoen on her right hip and just takes it herself, and now the Hawks with 12 seconds will try to get a last look. Three-pointer on the way. No. Rebound, Johnson. 4 seconds, Johnson. And they're going to call a jump ball with 1.5.
That shot down here for Kiana Harris, that is you have an internal clock, right, as an athlete, and you just get a little impatient as you pass the ball around, and they're 15 seconds away from getting the last shot of the half. Now we're going to get a 2-for-1. Didn't expect to see that either.
Well, what's your 1.5-second play? Now, if Ankeny can contest this.
You want to get Burns up here at the corner. That's where you're going for.
Yeah,
nope,
no shot. Won't go anywhere close. 19-15 is our halftime score. Jaguars have a lead of 4 points. They double their first quarter lead here at this early season matchup, and a great test for both of these squads. We see our friend Dan Holm from the Ankeny Fanatic will join us here at halftime. That's the thing, Andy, about basketball. Things move so fast around here. It just seems like we just got started, and here we are at halftime.
Well, if Dan wants to take some of my time in the second half, feel free. The guy is Mr. Ankeny, so you can get his thoughts on everything possible here.
Dan Holm will be with us from the Ankeny Fanatic when we come back. Ankeny Centennial leads 19-15. This is high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs work? For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa. Is this guy a contractor who does good work or a contractor who needs
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
About it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back. Halftime here at Ankeny High on CISN.TV. The Jaguars lead the Hawks 19-15. Dan Holm, Ankeny Fanatic. Good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you too.
You know, it's a lot warmer than the last time I think we chatted.
It is. I like it a lot better here.
we've moved into the winter sports season, and which means let's start with the podcast first. What you have on this week? What's next week? What's coming down?
Well, we previewed the boys basketball game tonight with both coaches and a couple of players. A week ago, we did a session with the girls coaches. Next week, we'll be focusing on wrestling. They have the big wrestling duel next week, so we're trying to hit all the sports.
You've been first you have swimming, and then you had football and all these other things, and the site's going well. And what are you going to write about this game? What'd you think of that first half?
Well, boy, Ankeny got off to a great start, didn't they? They couldn't keep it up, but it's a good game so far. This would be Ankeny's first win ever against Centennial if they could pull it off, and they got some work to do though.
Well, you start out 7-0. Coach DeYoung, quick timeout, just says, "All right, we're fine," and all of a sudden they come out in an 8-0 run.
Yeah, they hit a couple three-pointers there, kind of got themselves going there. Meg Burns gave them a big lift. She's been injured. Wasn't really quite sure what she'd give them tonight, but she looks pretty good.
Sarah McCullough, it seems like every time she gets the basketball, there's somebody in a black jersey on her.
Oh, yeah. They've always defended her really well. I think 4 times that Centennial's played Ankeny hasn't even scored 30 points, so they know how to shut them down. And, right now they've only got 15 points. So
halfway there to that 30-point. Right. So in Tuesday night's game, Centennial and Valley, Centennial not one player in double figures, but when you've got 3 with 8 and 2 with 7, it's a balanced scoring attack. And Dan, really, it's about that same thing. I've got Burns for 8, Kiana Harris for 2, 5 for Murray, 2 for Sauer, and 2 for Schoen.
Yeah, that was a big lift from Cleo Murray too. She's not normally one of their big scorers, but she gave him a nice lift there.
All right, that's in this game. What about that second one? That won't be too bad either.
Yeah, that should be a good one. They've had a lot of close games in the past. I think 3 of the last 4 have been decided by 4 points or less. And what's interesting about the boys' matchup is that the road teams won the last 5 games.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I saw that on the AnkenyFanatic.com where you can read all those great stories. I remember last year in that boys' game at Centennial, kind of got intense, kind of looked like that Iowa State game last night a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, that was crazy. Ankeny got to about a 20-point lead in that game, and then Centennial came all the way back, took the lead, and then Ankeny recovered to win, so that was quite a game.
So in that contest, you've got a Centennial squad 3-2, Ankeny, or 1-2, and you've got Ankeny 3-0. A lot of talk around town is this Ankeny Hawk basketball team. Get out to see them for the boys. They are really good. You agree?
They are. I saw them beat North. That was certainly a huge win for them. They've got a really good backcourt. A lot of kids that can handle the ball, shoot the ball. They can score in a variety of ways. They like to get up and down the court. I think they're going to try to make those Centennial big guys get up and down the court, and that'll be the interesting battle there, is kind of contrasting styles.
So Centennial also playing good teams. Had to play Valley, had to play Southeast Polk. What are we seeing from them or something that we might want to watch to see who needs to have a great breakout game?
Well, Cody McCullough has really stepped up for them this year. He's had 3 straight double-doubles. I think he's averaging about 16 points, 11 rebounds. He's really taken a big leap, this year. They're going to want to get the ball inside to him, and he can take advantage of his size down there for sure.
Well, he knows what his cousin's doing, so he has to counter.
Exactly.
That's always fun. So then what do you got? What are you covering tomorrow? Anything?
Doing a little bit of wrestling. The Centennial wrestlers, they're hosting a dual tournament. And then the Ankeny wrestlers are over at Johnston. It's actually the Valley Johnston tournament at Johnston. There we might see a rematch between Caleb Bracci and Valley's Nick Oldham from the state championship match last year. So a full day of wrestling there, I think.
A lot of good wrestling in this area and in Ankeny and Centennial. So always fun to see how it all shakes out. You can always read about it in the AnkenyFanatic.com. Follow Dan Holm on Twitter or listen to the podcast. And it comes out it's mostly Tuesdays or Wednesdays?
Usually Wednesdays,
yeah. Wednesdays is when the new one drops. So all you have to do, click subscribe, and it's delivered right to your device, right?
That's right. Yep, exactly.
All right. Thank you, Dan Holm. Good to see you. And you'll be busy at halftime or between games having post-game reaction from both these coaches, and you'll read about it on the Ankeny Fanatic.
That's right.
All right, Dan Holm, good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we're at halftime. Centennial leads Ankeny 19-15. We'll get ready for the second half after this on CISN.TV.
Closeout event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $4,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 months on new 18 Silverados. Including 2,500 and 3,500. 0% for 72 on Volt, Cruise, and Trax. And 2019 Equinox. New 19 Equinox. $245 per month lease. Only $999 plus taxes and fees. Up to $5,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 on all new Tahoes and Suburbans. Hurry in. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com. Black Friday.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community. You want to get
from the north side of Ankeny, leading the Hawks from the south side. 19-15. Paul Yeager, Andy Pollock. You just heard Dan Holm from the Ankeny Fanatic. I'm not sure there's anybody that works harder covering sports than him.
I just had that conversation with him. He was at the This Week in Central Iowa Sports Show that we did at Thunderhead Restaurant Brewery here in Ankeny on Wednesday night, and had a chance to sit down and talk with Dan a little bit too. And the guy's all over the place. And he was just getting ready to leave, at 7:30 at night. Then he was going back to his office to report a podcast about various Ankeny sports going on this week.
About this, and the next sports show will be Wednesday night at 6 o'clock on CISN.TV or on our YouTube channel. And we're still working on exactly who's going to be there, right? All right. I couldn't hear what Peter said, but I know that it's going to be fun. What's that? Oh, Joe Segrist, our friend over at Valley High School, girls basketball coach, #1 Valley Tigers. Halftime, you've had a chance to digest things, Andy. What's it going to have to be in the second half here for either team to win?
We talked when we talked with the Ankeny staff earlier today. You did, and it was running and rebounding, and they really haven't done either well so far. They haven't been able to get those shots in transition. The Jags are really forcing them into a half-court game. They've got to rebound better, and that's going to lead to more of that stuff as well. And now that's not going to help the tempo. There's a 5-second call to start the half.
Caleb Pitts just dribbling around, said the referee, Tyler Eason, and he blew the whistle. So already to start, a turnover.
And they're going to need to get Sarah McCullough involved in this offense a lot more as well.
Coach McAnally said, yes, the 2 R's, rebound and run, and you got to make them play all 94 feet. Well, right now it looks like Centennial is making Ankeny play all 94 feet. Kind of a reverse action. Shown for 3, and that goes.
Well, that's going to turn into a rough second half for Ankeny. And it's not that Shown's a bad shooter, but if she's going to be taking those shots, they would like to go inside, but if she's going to hit those shots from the three-point line, it's going to be a hard second half for the Hawks.
7-point lead. Matches their highest of the game. Pitts is kind of stuck in a corner. Trimble comes to the rescue. McCullough battling it out there with Meg Burns down low. Haven't been able to get her out on the wing or get any type of a shot.
They're really running their offense really extended a long ways out, so it creates some hard, long entry passes.
Three-pointer is good.
No hesitation there for Holly Trimble.
Trimble 3.
You notice the Jags defense was sagging off a little bit, such an emphasis on where McCullough is, and Trimble can hit a couple of those. They're going to free up McCullough a lot.
3-ball, corner, no good. McCullough the board, and I bet you that's going to be a foul on Shown, and it will.
Yep. 2 talented basketball players. I guarantee you not the first time that they've bodied up there, and Shown whistled for the foul there. Great position by McCullough down low.
So now the 2 teams have traded 3 balls to start the third quarter. And we'll see what the Hawks do now. And it's stolen away, jumped in the passing lane, and going coast to coast and not scoring is Murray. And then there's a foul on the rebound and put back.
That's really a case of the Jags being the Hawks kind of at their own game there. As Murray beats everybody down the court, doesn't get it, but the second chance opportunity for Shown.
Abby Johnson whistled for the foul. That's her first. And Shown will go to the line and hit that first one. Shown on the season, a 75% free throw shooter.
Just love her scrappiness.
And she hits them both. And the Hawks will bring back in Harrington, and going out will be Keeker. And again, Centennial is going to provide full court pressure here.
It's not so much, not a super aggressive press, but it does kind of take you out of your rhythm as an offense.
When you can't pass it quickly up and get your tempo and pace, it just kind of messes with you. It's just enough to kind of throw off the engine a little bit. Trimble thought about it. McCullough gets it, drives in on Burns. Turn around, tough look at the basket, and Burns is whistled there. Not really the prettiest of shots by McCullough. She kind of forced it.
It was great defense right up until the very end, the last bit by Burns. I mean, she stood her ground. Now McCullough's so strong, though, able to work her way in without looking like she's being a bully and pushing people around in there.
I will say, it does look like McCullough has added a little bit of muscle from season to season here. She kind of thought that in volleyball, and she hits the first free throw, and you know that next level, they're going to have her in the weight room more. McCullough now with 3 points, all of them on free throws.
Murray and Burns have drawn the assignment on her tonight.
Lead back to 4 for the Jaguars. Sauer inside, and that no foul. Schoen gets her own rebound off a miss, gets it second, third time, fourth time, and the fifth time it goes in.
That's all heart. I mean, that's a coaching cliche, but that is all heart on Rachel Schoen. And, it wasn't pretty, but she got the job done at the very end.
Jaguars back up by 6.
Draws a lot of attention when she gets down low, but just the ball is never dead with her. There's always a chance.
McCullough dribbles to the right side, uses a little bit of a pick there from Trimble. Jaguars have dared the Hawks to shoot it deep, and they just haven't taken the bait. Oh, nice give and go, and a whistle on the shot by Harrington.
I think Harrington, one more step, and Harrington's got a wide open layup, probably a chance for the and one. Runchy just a little bit late coming across. Nice recognition by McCullough for the entry pass as she cut through the lane.
Free throw is good for Harrington on the season, a 78.9% free throw shooter. A lot of people here already for this contest. A lot of Ankeny fan from the high school on the left side there that you see on the missed free throw. And plenty of Centennial fans on the student side here as well. And not many seats left in front of us and around us, Andy.
Well, you knew this was going to bring out a lot of the townsfolk tonight.
Schoen, no answer for her. She now has 10.
It's that kitty corner entry pass. I love it. I don't see much of that, but that you really take out two of the defenders and create almost a fast break in the half-court set with it.
Up ahead again, Sauer dribbles, blocked by McCullough. That's the one thing on Sauer. She spends a lot of time playing volleyball. She does a great job on defense in basketball, but the offensive side is one of those things. They don't need her to score points. They need her to give rebounds, block shots, get out and put it in every once in a while. And she fouled out the other night to start the fourth quarter. Good physical player as Burns drives, and the floater with the left hand is good. She now has 10.
Burns a really nice job of, we've got McCullough as a shot blocker waiting right there for her, and Burns right before she gets to her able to get to the left hand and float it in.
We'll take a break. Hawks now trail by 9. Jaguars have opened up their biggest lead of the game, 9 points, the 4:06 mark. Paul Yeager, Andy Pollock here on CISN.TV. All right, what's Coach McAnally saying there in the huddle?
Well, right now, you've got to figure out a way to get some shots off, and we've seen him have success when they can get the ball down closer to the rim, but the Jags have really extended their defense and not allowed them to do that.
Great defense and steal by Taylor Runshie, but can't convert. And now the Hawks get it back.
It's a nice way to hustle back in transition for the Jags. There's a look.
Inside, McCullough, she is fouled on the floor.
There you see her catching it deeper to the basket. You know, getting her a chance down low, close to the hoop. When she catches out front, she's not creating. She's not one that's going to create a whole lot facing the basket. If she can get her back to the basket, that's where she's very powerful.
Harrington in the corner, guarded by Runshie. Burns was the one whistled for the foul. She now has 2. Three-pointer won't count because Kayla Pitts shuffled her feet.
Just a couple of hops to kind of get her feet set to shoot that. You can see they're trying to get the ball to McCullough. I mean, she's going to be the one to shoot them back into this game, but she's being a lot more physical right now here coming out of that timeout and just really trying to muscle her way down closer to the basket without the ball so she can catch it closer to the hoop.
Ankeny brings their own form of pressure here. Been hard to get a lot of pressure because you haven't had a lot of made baskets. So they get the opportunity on the turnover. No shown on the floor right now. Kiana Harris in there.
Can't imagine that'll last too long.
3-ball corner, no good, tipped by Sauer.
You mentioned it before.
She can sky for it, and she just, sometimes a team needs to have a player that does, it's not all about scoring.
I believe they call that the blue-collar player, the one that you create a lot of opportunities for other players on the court by your scrappiness and your toughness.
And to me, one of the best ones in the state this year is Alex Honnold of Valley. She is the same type of player, great athlete in another sport, playing basketball and doing whatever her team needs.
And those players that play multiple sports, a lot of times, they're the competitors too.
Yes.
She's not a stand like. If you're watching with a critical eye, you notice her on the basketball court, but the average fan probably doesn't notice a whole lot of her on the basketball court, unlike her on the softball field, so that's a little more uncomfortable for her, but she's a competitor.
And, so much specialization happens now, Andy. You and I have talked about this way too much. But it's good to see athletes playing multiple sports for many reasons. And the competitive fire alone is good to help in those other sports.
Absolutely, and it gets some girls into some maybe some uncomfortable positions that they're not normally used to being in their best sport. We see out here, Kenna Sauer's not going to play college basketball. She's out here and she's a blue collar player. She's not a standout out here. You put her on the volleyball court, that's where she's comfortable. But out here, you see the competitive side of her come out. The same with Sarah McCullough on the volleyball floor, and she's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but this is where she stands out for the Hawks.
3-ball shot, no good by Mashoff. Rebound, Sauer.
Mashoff put everything she had into that shot. It was a big oomph. She's a long ways out for it. Jag's going to be pretty patient here.
2 minutes to play. Still a 9-point advantage for the Jags. Sauer turns and shoots, no good.
That's where they want the ball, but not the ball for the shot.
Scrappy Kiana Harris, 1-on-4, gets the rebound, and then driving is Burns, and she's fouled.
It's a fail on my part tonight because I was tasked with tracking rebounds for this game, but with our setup, I kind of started off with it and didn't, but I'm sure if we were to see that right now, we'd see a hefty advantage for the Jags.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially on the offensive end. They've been able to create a lot of second, third, fourth, fifth opportunities as well.
Johnson comes back in. Harrington will sit out. Meg Burns, 8 points a contest, 5'10" junior. She's got 10 right now, make it 11.
And she's drawn the task of defending McCullough when she's in there.
10 points and the toughest defense assignment on the court. Mashoff. That's a 3-point shot by Kayla Pitts.
Yeah, that's a nice look. Just kind of caught the defender off guard. Quick release.
get it back to 7. I think the Hawks are thinking if they can cut this to 4 to start the fourth quarter, they'll be doing all right. Johnson chases it down, and now again it's the Hawks. Mash off. 3-ball corner again. Pitts missed. Tipped by Burns. And out of bounds, it'll stay Ankeny basketball. And that gets some of the Hawk fans around us cheering.
Yeah, good hustle play. I mean, Burns keeping it alive, but just, the big swat to send it out of bounds down here in the corner. This is a tough spot to inbound the ball from. No one wants to run your offense pinned in a corner here.
In the gyms, we're not playing in the Applington or the Jessup gym right now where there's not as much room on the sidelines, but it's still tight.
Yeah, it's tight. Anytime you're in that corner, it really limits you. You got about 90 degrees of movement as opposed to the normal 180. It cuts it in half where you can enter the ball to.
And your plays aren't designed for that corner.
Very rarely.
McCullough on the block at a minute to play. I think anytime
big swipe.
Yeah, I think anytime McCullough gets it, there's supposed to be 3 people on her or touch her. Johnson's in a tough spot. She stepped on the line, but who helped push her out?
Sauer is right there. She's not pushing, but when you run into her, you're not getting any ground that way. So just that gradually, as you stay straight up, you inch your way just a little bit closer and create just enough contact to force her out on the end line. But it does give the Hawks a chance to set up the press. And, the Jags have really struggled against this lately, especially the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Coach McAnally pleading his case, and now he's calling for 10 seconds to get it in.
He's animated, isn't he? He's fun to watch over there. Yes. Coach DeYoung not going to back away from a good conversation either.
Schoen with her 12th point there on the bucket.
Gets her right to her average, isn't it?
Schoen with 12 points, and it is, Andy. Leads the team. The 12-point average per game. Coach McAnally's dad was an assistant, still is an assistant coach in basketball. And I've asked, and his dad had been an assistant for Bert Hansen, longtime coach at Indianola, both boys and girls, Lake Mills. Sauer just stole that with her long reach. 10 seconds for the Jaguars. Leaves it, 6 seconds. Corner, 3-ball. No good, 2 seconds. Quick put up, Schoen won't go. But it'll still be a 9-point lead. Centennial leads 33-24. The fourth quarter when we come back.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
Well, hello and welcome back inside Ankeny Gym, the ever-spacious Ankeny High School Gymnasium. Peter Tarpey tonight on the camera and the computer. Glad to have the boss here. We got to sit up straight. Oh, wait, why start now? Andy Pollock? All right, you said it in the timeout, but it is true. Centennial up by 9 with a quarter to play. It might as well be double that.
It's going to force the Hawks to extend their defense. You're not fouling yet, obviously, at this point, but you get down to 4 minutes. If it's still at this point, they're just really going to have to extend that defense out, and that's exactly plays into the Jaguars' hands at that point, because that leaves their bigs in a good matchup down low.
Burns, Murray, Sauer, Schoen, and with the basketball is Runchie, the starting 5. Schoen on the entry. It's tipped away, and the Hawks get it back. Up ahead to Johnson. It's going to be tipped away by Burns. I'll tell you what, Meg Burns last season, had a nice campaign for the Jaguars. And this year they're going to need her to keep playing because teams are going to focus on Schoen. But if Burns can hit points, and she's got 11 tonight, Jaguars are going to be a tough out as the season wears on.
I almost want to call Burns the anti-Schoen. Schoen, what she does out there. I don't mean that wrong for either gal, but Burns just silky smooth in everything she does.
McCullough lulls her to sleep in and out. Sauer blocks it with the right, grabs it with the left.
There's not too many people that are going to be able to block the shot of McCullough down low, but physically wise, those are two pretty talented athletes.
McCullough is down on the floor, and she is slow to get up, and she's holding that left knee as she get up, so we're going to have to stop play for just a moment.
She's trying to shake it off right. She's moving fine right now, just probably landed on it wrong.
Who got the basket for Centennial?
That was Schoen.
Yeah. I was too busy watching the action on the
Schoen
floor.
with the one-on-none after McCullough hit the deck.
11-point lead, biggest of the game for Centennial. Their next game, they will play Roosevelt Tuesday in a tiny little venue called Wells Fargo Arena. Both boys and girls will play downtown.
Do we have that game on CISN, or are we?
That's going to be a travel. Yep, McCullough hopped there. I believe our friend Laura Leonard will have that call on MediaCom.
Well, that's on MediaCom.
Yep,
Nice. Okay.
Yep. So I saw Laura tweet something out today, and we were talking, Laura and I and you, a few days ago about a former Jaguar and former Hawk, Kendall Lindemann, and her softball career. You know, it started at Minnesota. It's now going to be headed to the University of Florida in Gainesville, tweeting it out here this evening, making her transfer public. And that's a good get for a team that didn't need much help.
Yes.
Turnover caused by Jalen Keeker, and it'll be Ankeny basketball.
She's really going to have a chance to play with the best of the best down there, and in some nice weather.
Yeah, a little better than Minnesota in the Big Ten. Two-time All Big Ten performer, MVP, goes to the SEC.
You know, she actually did start her career as a Hawk, and then the split happened, so she finished her career as a Jaguar. And
all-time home run hitter.
And I believe she had that by her junior year in high school.
And I think at some point we'll see Jean Berger hand her a Hall of Fame plaque. And
absolutely.
For sure for softball. You could almost make a case for basketball, as tough as she was as a defensive player.
She kind of reminds me of watching Sauer out here right now. Probably smoother around the basket than Sauer, but did a lot of that blue-collar stuff we've talked about throughout the evening.
Jean Berger, head of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, here tonight. Did see Pink Shoes earlier, talking with a guy who's in 2 Hall of Fames as well for coaching, and that's our friend Dick Rasmussen for both softball and basketball. The other state banners that aren't Coach Scott DeYoung's are Dick Rasmussen's.
It's so fun to talk with Coach Rasmussen. Had a chance on several occasions just to sit down in an informal setting and get his thoughts on everything going on. You know, we've had him here on the air as well, but a guy that, you know, he won with the Ankeny Hawks, but, you know, Coach DeYoung was would look to him as his mentor as well. So he's followed Coach DeYoung quite a bit now through his career, and you see him still at all the basketball. Whenever there's a basketball game in Ankeny, you can bet that you're going to see Dick Rasmussen there.
Yep. And then that's on either side of town. He is there supporting both the school that he worked for and his, as you said, friend with Scott DeYoung there.
And you know, he's got, I've seen actually several Coach Rasmussen's players kind of scattered throughout here tonight as well. Several of them still around town, and it's fun to hear them share some of the stories as well.
Well, coming up, we will have the boys contest, and the intensity of that one will be fun as well. This girls' game, not much to get the Ankeny crowd cheering. Jaguars, kind of a ho-hum. We're up 11 with 6:07 to play here in the fourth quarter.
They kind of remind me of a wrestler that's really good riding on the top. You know, you get that advantage, and once you get down, it's so tough to get your way back into the game due to the nature of the way they play.
Oh,
there's a hop.
As I say, I'm pretty sure I just saw a hop.
Not only because of how it's easy to point out how patient they are on offense and working for the good shots, but they're so good on defense. You mentioned the fundamentals too. It just makes it really hard to score. And in true Coach DeYoung fashion, he's taken the best player out of the game for Ankeny and really made things hard on Sarah McCullough tonight and forced somebody else to beat you. Play 4-on-4 and force somebody else to beat you.
It's not the first time he's played against a Division I recruit. Nice move by McCullough. Gets around 2 players, can't finish. Johnson comes in there. Johnson's been a little quiet tonight as well. McCullough with only 3 points, Johnson with 5. Rebound off the miss.
There's a lot of things Kenna Sauer's good at. I'm not sure that fadeaway 6-foot jump shot is her specialty there.
Tip to Pitts, who fakes left, goes to the corner, and then that pocket's almost picked by Sauer. Again, in the middle.
She's got her hand on everything.
She does.
I think she was thinking dunking the ball at this end with that tip right there. She came streaking from nowhere. I would like to see her try. I think Kenna Sauer is one of those that you've seen her on the basketball court or on the volleyball court. Yeah. She'll explosive. She'll kill that ball from anywhere. Oh, I'm sure it's been attempted by her.
Kenna's grandfather, Tom Price, head coach of softball at Sergeant Bluff Luton. So athletics is in the family, and her aunt is the first base coach.
Oh, really?
For Sergeant Bluff.
Well,
so
I'm going to take it a step. Her brother wrestles for Iowa State, so that's another.
Yeah.
It's a talented athletic family, and obviously, you get by. You can't just get by on natural talent. I mean, you've seen a couple. Caden, her brother, I witnessed personally. I mean, the kid works so hard, and you see the same from Ken. I mean, she's not just out there as a look-good player on the court. She's going to make herself known wherever she is.
Jaguars still up by 11. They go to Schoen, and she's going to be fouled on the way up to get that basketball. I think they're going to call Keeker.
Yeah, that's a tough look on Keeker because she's doing what she's trying to. She's trying to keep her boxed out and not let her get to the hoop. But the second Schoen goes up in the air, it's an undercut, and she's just caught in a bad spot.
McAnally calls a quick timeout here for the Hawks, who are down by 11. They've been outscored by a whopping 2-0 here in this fourth quarter.
They really get that on defense. They kind of pull McCullough up with some attacking kind of the middle of the lane, the upper part of the lane, and that's when you get that ball on that elbow too. That creates the mismatches with their bigs on the kind of the shorter wing players for the Hawks, and that's where they've been able to thrive tonight.
Ankeny assisted by Seth Haggerty, and I saw Amanda Kisenbaugh there as well.
Cole Engel, who is a very talented basketball player back in his day, also a good football player over at Southeast Polk.
That was an okay athletic family, too.
Yeah, Caitlin. We saw her play several times.
Saw her at the state tournament, which, by the way, we will have coverage again on CISN.TV. Kiana Harris.
That's a great finish.
Alexandra.
Yeah, that is a great finish with the left hand by Harris.
The lead's 13. Pitts for 3. Short. Sauer the board. And it looks like the Hawks are going to have
that was what the timeout was for, yep.
And that's going to be whistled against Harrington, and Runchie will go. Had the foul, pick herself up off the floor.
Well, recognition by Coach McAnally. You only got 3 team fouls, and if you're going to get yourself back in the game fouling with free throws, yeah, that's what that last timeout was for. All right, we're in whatever the code word for it is, but we're in that mode right now to foul and extend the last 4.5 minutes of this game. Here's not the girl you want to foul in the case of shooting free throws, though.
And when you can't even get to the basketball, Andy, it's hard to foul. And that's what Centennial does so well, is playing keep away.
They're going to have to extend out again here, and Centennial will take a minute off with this possession.
Sauer, turnaround, bucket is good, or just shoot it on the turnaround.
Right. And that's why I'm up here, and Coach DeYoung is down there.
I'm not 100% that's what he wanted either.
Oh, nice look. Harrington coming back. Left wide open on the corner, kind of in not necessarily on the fast break, but on the secondary break. As Jags were getting set up, she found herself open in the corner.
Lead back to 12. As I think that was Runchie. Yeah, she was on that block, and she's fouled. Keeker whistled her third.
This is a tough part as a coach, and I'm going to use a football analogy because that's what I know, but it's like having that 2-score lead. You don't want to get too conservative because that's not necessarily what got you there, but you also don't need to be incredibly aggressive. You'll take those shots right there, though.
Kiana Harris, man, I tell you, she's fun, too.
You know, she's been a career 6th man off the bench, but the production they get from her is outstanding. She's been another fun player to watch.
Harris, a junior. It's a good junior class. It's a good balanced roster for Coach DeYoung. And McCullough is fouled. She's just trying to play one-on-one with Sauer.
McCullough going to have a chance to add to her points at the free throw, and the only place that she's scored so far tonight.
I'd have to do a quick look at the book. I don't know the last time McCullough's been held under double digits, not this season.
Yeah, and just Tuesday night she went for 20 points and 17 rebounds against Lincoln.
Well, you had to know that was the game plan, and that's what Coach Mack and I were talking about today, is he knew that's what they were going to try to do. So it's a matter of who can step up.
And the question is it, oh, wow. It's
Kiana
all
Harris.
falling now.
Remember how those shots eventually were going to fall? Yeah, there they are.
No, it's a question of, okay, you know, it's no secret. McCullough's your player, right? Well, okay, do you have a game plan for if they take her out of it, or do you focus on really freeing her up? Different coaches will approach that different ways, and tonight the game plan was that, early on we saw some other players step up, but as they just did a really nice job of taking McCullough out of this game.
Now the lead is 14 as we get under 2:30 to play. Coach DeYoung calls for motion. He wants them to move it.
Yeah, they're going to extend this offense and defense a lot closer to center court right now.
Mashoff is trying to get a foul on Burns. Runche's been working on the ball handling skills a little bit in the offseason. They've already run 30 seconds off in this possession. Runche drives, kicks, shown, and one.
That's an incredible possession right there. The Jags take the air out of the ball, and then getting an and one on an open layup at the end of it. I mean, that's just it's a disciplined possession. You get the Hawks out of the rhythm, out of what they want to do defensively, and no one wants to play having to foul somebody at the end, but you have to extend your defense out so far that the second you break that first wave, you create a fast break for yourself.
And the free throw makes it a 20-point advantage. Remember, Ankeny led in this contest 7-0 to start the game. Since that time, it's been all Jaguars. The fourth quarter was rough for the Jags against Valley on Tuesday night. Tonight, it's been their friend.
And learning how to finish, that's going to be a key right now is for their development as the season goes on. And tonight we've seen a good job of it, but they're you always know a Coach DeYoung team is going to be playing very good basketball at the end of the year. You can never count them out. And he's got the athletes on this team to do some damage.
McCullough trying to create at the minute 17 mark, and she turns it over.
And just pressing a little bit right there, just trying to make something happen.
In Class 5A, Andy, Valley is number 1. City High is 2. City High has a big game tonight against West. Johnston, Waukee, Cedar Falls, and then Iowa City West, Dowling Catholic, Southeast Polk, Cedar Rapids Prairie. And then you have Centennial at 10. Wash, Pleasant Valley, Ankeny, Des Moines East, and Ames round out your top 15. I like this side of the state for 5A this year. I have only seen Prairie play on television. I know that Iowa City West is going to be a handful.
They were last year.
They were last year, even with all those losses. Yep. Coach B.J. Mayer, Coach of the Year, wins the state title. But he's also missing some parts from last year.
You got a Jones coming back for City High.
Yep.
And
headed to Iowa State.
That family is watching the girls basketball in that family has been a treat for us at the state tournament these last few years.
Their sister had the open look to tie it Wednesday night against Iowa. Wholesale changes for both teams.
Yeah, she's averaging double digits for the Cyclones right now as a freshman, yeah.
Free throw's good by Runche. Her first point of the game.
Runche, we mentioned multi-sport athletes, talked about it in the pregame show, the third baseman for the Jags softball team as well.
Who will have a new coach next season.
Who's no stranger to Ankeny. I have not seen Coach Delaney walking around here, nor Coach Bingham. Backstory there, Coach Delaney coming from, he's an assistant on the Southside team and now will be the head coach for the Jaguars, getting a chance to run his own program now. He does teach in the middle school up on the north side, so he'll have a chance to develop a off-the-field relationship with the ladies as well.
These two teams will meet again on the 11th of January, but I believe on another game we'll have on CISN.TV.
Get the confirmation there from Pete Tarpey.
And I believe Tuesday we have no basketball game but a wrestling match. Is that correct? Southeast Polk at Waukee.
Southeast Polk so dominant.
For years.
Oh, they just keep reloading.
Under a minute now, 22-point lead as Calissa Wright now, and then that's Nicole Dacus. And the Jaguars will run out this clock as we try to get everybody in here. Lizzie Strom throws it away there.
There's Jackie Pippett in there as well for the Jags, along with Ellie Street and Bella Robin, who did get a couple minutes early on.
Now with the Hawk is with the basketball. And that's Dacus. And Ayers, and driving is, well, that was Vosick, who had played in that first half, but we hadn't seen her until now.
Have a chance to get a couple points in the scorebook tonight.
Here's the thing: if you're Coach McAnally, you're looking at this going, all right. In years past, this would have been a very hard thing for this team to overcome. A little more veteran group now. They're going to have to be able to flush it away. We're under 10, and just get ready to play the next night.
That's the beauty about basketball, is the next game happens again so quick.
And this game happened quick as well. Centennial rolls 49-27. The Hawks only 3 points in that fourth quarter. They're outscored 16-3, Andy, and it was all tonight the Rachel Schoen, Meg Burns, and Alexandria Kiana Harris show.
The mismatch, you know, they did some things on offense to draw McCullough out of the lane and just created mismatches in other areas on the court. And, you know, the defense at 2-3 zone just not able to recover. We didn't really see Centennial hit a lot of those outside shots like I thought they would have to tonight. They were just able to create some more mismatches down low and get really some bunnies.
Shown tonight with 16, Burns with 11, Kiana Harris with 9, Kenna Sauer with 4, and that's just points, but if you had to give her tallies for all the things she did to right, it would be 30.
Well, and I know coaches track, I believe the term for it is deflex, and that's the amount of times that you get your hand on a ball that maybe possession is not gained or lost, but you're able to get your hand on the ball, and it's a disruptive stat, and she was definitely that. We saw 3 in 1 possession for her tonight.
Kayla Pitts tonight had 9 for the Ankeny Hawks, 3 for Holly Trimble, 4 for Ashley Harrington, 3 for Sarah McCullough, and 5 for Abigail Johnson. So tough night for the Ankeny Hawks, and the girls will clear the floor and the boys will come up. We will take a tiny bit of a break here. We'll keep the feed up, right? We keep the feed live during this timeout. Yes, you bet. We're not going to send it away. This game will be archived on our YouTube site. Share it. Take a look at all the games we have scheduled right there on our YouTube channel throughout the season. So, Andy, let me finish that thought with Coach McAnally and Ankeny. So they have to come back. They have tomorrow off in terms of games, but they will play at Southeast Polk, who has spent time at number 1. It doesn't get any easier for them.
It doesn't, but the matchup, I think, will be better for them for Southeast Polk. And there's not really an associative property here that goes on. The matchups tonight for them just weren't good because of the length that Centennial came at them with. Southeast Polk much more guard-oriented. They don't have the type of player. They're going to probably come at McCullough with McGraw. I would guess most likely she will be defending her. And we saw earlier this year when we saw Southeast Polk, I mean, when McGraw is out, and that could lead to some foul issues for her. And if McGraw's out, that makes running that offense for Southeast Polk it's a lot more difficult.
Maggie McGraw, who transferred from Indianola to Southeast Polk and playing for Tracy Daly's squad, which is a great operation there. And then the Hawks next Friday night will be at Urbandale. But tonight fall 49-27. Now Centennial, they will play Roosevelt at Wells Fargo Arena. And then next Friday night host Ames And then, oh, by the way, they got to play that other team in West Des Moines. They played Valley once. They'll play Dowling Catholic, who a big win against Southeast Polk earlier this week on Monday.
So many of these teams have a player, and there's good surrounding parts as well, but so many of these teams have a player that can go off on any particular night. And, you know, McCullough for the Hawks, Division I recruit. Maggie McGraw for Southeast Polk, Division I recruit. And we haven't even talked about one of the top recruits in the country in the 2020 class, and that's Caitlin Clark for Dowling. And she is just so talented and fun to watch as well for them.
All right, well, I'm being summoned to the principal's office. I have to talk to the boss for some reason. I'll have a conversation with Jean Berger off camera. You want to talk on camera?
Bring her on.
We'd love to have her. We'll have her on during the state tournament. How about that?
Absolutely.
We always good to talk. I'll fill you in about what our conversation is. Her and I usually have way too many conversations as time goes on, and I'm surprised that she's even here. We'll be back after this with the boys contest. Ankeny girls of Centennial. The Centennial Jaguars win 49-27. This is the girls, the boys, coming up in a few minutes here. This is CISN.TV.
Stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service. There's no doubt.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us. Or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Closeout event, Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $4,500 off, plus 0% for 72 months on new 18 Silverados, including 2,500 and 3,500. 0% for 72 on Volt, Cruise, and Trax. And 2019 Equinox. New 19 Equinox. $245 per month lease. Only $999 plus taxes and fees. Up to $5,500 off, plus 0% for 72 on all new Tahoes and Suburbans. Hurry in. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny. The
So we could, Andy Pollock, sing along to the music here.
I Am Iron Man.
All good stuff as we make the flip from girls to boys. And we pick up the intensity level a little bit. That first game tonight, the Centennial Jaguars, 49-27 winners. Better write that on this next sheet because I folded over. Had a conversation with Jean Berger, the executive director of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, and well, I'll be seeing her before you know it as state basketball. We got to get through. You jinxed yourself. There's Binger right there.
He showed up.
Yeah,
I assumed he would be here, yeah.
Yeah, he heard you. It'll be girls state basketball. We'll have all the games in quarterfinal and semifinal on CISN.TV. Is that correct? Yep. And then we'll flip it over to Iowa Public Television for the finals again. And this year, Peter, the schedule will be just a tiny bit different. I don't know if you know this or not yet. That's going to be, so last year, Andy, they made the flip. Instead of going 1 to 5, they're going 5 to 1. However, they're making a flip and putting 4A on Saturday because boys basketball for those corresponding class plays on that Friday of the state tournament.
Sub-state?
Yep, they're sub-state games. So it'll go 5-3, and then on Friday night. And then Saturday, it'll be 4, 2, and 1. So that'll kind of alter some of those times. But, hey, we got a long way to go on that. And I always enjoy my time with Jing. And then softball, we're going to do more softball again, right? 4 live feeds for soccer here on CISN.TV. So
and last night the first wrestling match that CISN has done as well?
For this season? For this
season, yeah.
Pat Curtis and Keith Bornis, our friend Keith and Pat, they are quite the wrestling duo. Keith was my partner for a number of years with Valley Football, and even though he went to Luther, I still could call him a friend. 6 pins? Wow. Okay. I swear we should give him a microphone sometimes. He knows he wants to talk. All right, Andy, it's time to talk boys.
No, I don't need to talk.
No, I'm good. Centennial 1-2, Ankeny 3-0. Ankeny, that's the team that people are talking about around the state as a team to watch because they've beat a very good Des Moines North. I was told by some people that were here that game against North was one of the best high school basketball games they've ever seen.
Well, and it brought together 2 of the best players in the state, really, with Bayless here for Ankeny I and LaCour, that's right, for North. So it's there is, in Central Iowa, not known as much for the basketball talent. We don't have that high major talent, but there's some really exciting players to watch around the area regardless.
LaCour going to Alabama State or North
Alabama State or South Alabama? I don't remember for sure.
North Alabama.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't remember exactly where it is. So
they'll tweet us, I'm sure.
I haven't had to look up North yet. We haven't done a North game yet, so I haven't had to do much study on them.
Centennial 1-2 losses to Hoover and Valley, and they have beaten Southeast Polk. So tonight, Centennial going to have to try to turn things around here after that 10-point loss. Again, free throws dooming the Jaguars on Tuesday night against Valley.
The Jags are a big team. I mean, when you watch these guys walk on the court, they almost look like a football team. And you look at their height through. I mean, these are guys that know where the weight room is. But as you look through and look at the guys on the roster, I mean, 3 guys at 6'7", 6'6", 6'4", 6'5". The tallest guy on the entire Ankeny Hawks roster is 6'4".
Yeah.
And so there's a decided height advantage out here tonight. But I would say the advantage in the guard court definitely goes to the Hawks.
Well, and it's another McCullough, but this time the McCullough plays for Centennial, and that's Cody McCullough, 16.7 points a game. The cousin of Sarah plays on the north side. Always kind of fun to see the grandparents of the McCulloughs trade games. They will sometimes
he left our spot here on this side of the court.
Is he on the other side?
Yeah. Saw him show up on the other side of the court. Yep.
And what he'll do some nights in years past is he would be here for a game, then he'd go up there, and then come back here and kind of try to keep things interesting there.
Does he have the split shirt yet? The half J. I've seen that at a few colleges before too. The split shirt, the Jags on one side, the Hawks on the other.
Well, it's like the divided city, half Hawks, half Cyclones in this game. So, from the field, these teams are even shooting, 48% each. 3-point, a huge advantage by 10 points to Ankeny free throw line as well. Centennial's just not shot a lot of free throws.
No, and they do play a physical style of play, and they'll try to pound the ball down low a lot with their height advantage, but they don't have that penetrating guard to kick it, that creates the rotations and the defense that create those mismatches. I mean, there's nothing fancy about it. They're going to come right at you with their offense.
Ankeny tonight, a few of these guys, both of these multi-sport athletes again, a lot of football players transferring over here, and one of them is Jordan Cum for Ankeny. He averages 6 points a game. Jackson Smith, 16, but it's Braxton Braylis. He has 16 as well, the two leading scorers in Bayless and Smith. What can those guys do for you?
Well, Bayless is just good all over the court. He creates, and if you recognize that name, his father Ron played at Iowa State in the early 90s. You saw him walk in earlier. He looks like he could still make it up and down the court pretty well. Yeah, he is. They might be able to. Cyclones could have used him last night, I think. But no, it's fun because Ron Bayless is a guy that I grew up, watching him play and tried to emulate sometimes in the shed shooting baskets in the dust. But no, his son has obviously carried on the family name, and after having to sit out last season due to Iowa transfer rules, he's now here and he's creating a name for himself. I don't know the offer list exactly where it stands right now, but you're going to hear a lot more about this young man's name as this season goes on for sure.
Well, you're looking at Brant Carlson's squad, the Ankeny Hawks on the right side. They'll be in the home whites, and in the road blacks are the Centennial Jaguars under the head coach coaching of Bob Fontana. We'll take a quick break, get you the starting lineups, and play basketball from Ankeny High School on CISN.TV.
It's time for live.
Hey everyone, this is Dan Holm with Ankeny Fanatic. Be sure to check out our website this fall for the best local high school sports coverage around. Whether you're a Hawk or a Jaguar, we'll be covering everything from cross country, man that dude is fast, to volleyball and everything in between. Well hey Kenna, welcome back. You don't want to miss any of the hard-hitting action. Come visit us at AnkenyFanatic.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules. They're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Our focus is your good health.
In Ankeny, words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny.
High school basketball on the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Young drives the lane, scoops it up short, down in, kiss off the glass, good.
High school basketball on CISN.TV is brought to you by Schottenkirk Chevrolet, West Side Auto Pros, Mid-American Energy. Now let's go courtside for high school basketball on CISN.TV.
Once again, good evening, basketball fans. Welcome to Ankeny High School. This is the Hawks Nest, the home of Ankeny basketball. Tonight's contest is being sponsored by Ankeny Dental Professionals. At this time, we'd like to welcome our guests for tonight's CIML Conference matchup. Hawk fans, please give a warm welcome to the coaches, fans, and players for the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. Assistant coaches for the Jaguars are Ben Lamack, Greg Seversite, and Mark West. And the head coach for Centennial 6-foot senior, number 30, Garrett Severside. A 6'7" junior, number 35, Cody McCullough. And a 6'7" junior, number 42, Micah Johnson. And now, the starting lineup for your Ankeny Hawks. A 5'10" junior, number 10, Jordan Cobb. A 5'11" junior, number 12, Jackson Smith. A 6'1" junior, number 14, Braxton Bayless. A 6-foot sophomore, number 20, Jerron Bruce. And a 6'4" junior, number 34, Nolan Otter.
So the Ankeny Hawks will go with Jordan Cum, Jackson Smith, Braxton Brayless, Jaron Cruz, and Nolan Otten, while the Jaguars will counter with Preston Kelling, Tyler Rogers, Grant Seversite, Cody McCullough, and Micah Johnson. Good lineup so far, and all of a sudden, Andy, the crowd is picked up on both sides. They turn the lights out, and all of a sudden there's like 135 more people.
It's like when it becomes a lot easier to hit the dance floor, right? When the lights go out, everyone becomes a better dancer at that point.
I think that's something to do with it, yes. So, all right, your keys tonight.
Right now, it's really going to be a fact. Can the Hawks turn it into a guard-oriented game and penetrate and create those mismatches that they're looking for, or what few mismatches they have on the court in the guard court, or is it going to turn into an inside bruising game to Centennial's favor?
Look for Ankeny as Nolan Otten is out-tipped there by Micah Johnson, and the Jaguars have it. They'll go and shoot on the left basket. Guarded by the guy we talked a lot about in the open, Braxton Brayless. McCullough was there for a moment. Now Johnson, that's Seversite, who played quarterback this year for the Jaguars. The lefty can't get the first shot to go, and clearing it is Nolan Otten.
Not a bad look for the first possession as the Hawks press the tempo.
In the corner, 3-ball. Good! That's Jackson Smith.
That's a great look off the secondary break. Smith just gets lost in the corner. Oh, good take by Rogers.
We're going to have a whistle down low.
They're going to get Bayless.
Bayless picks up his first foul.
You know, Bayless is in a good position there, but he takes that swipe at the basketball, and you just gotta stay straight up there.
You're going to get that called every single time, whether you made contact or not. And unforced error, Preston Kelling steps on the out-of-bounds line. Turnover, it'll be back to Ankeny.
And Jackson Smith right in his face as he comes down on the corner and just kind of didn't realize how far away he was.
Bob Fontana standing on that far sideline with the Jaguars, and Brant Carlson for Ankeny. The road team has won the last 5 matchups in these two teams.
That's a great look right there. Jordan Cum, that pass that kind of wrap around and slide it in. He tried to get it down low to Otten. I'm not sure Otten was ready for it, but he was there for the look. Really got that 2-3 zone of Centennial to force its way out.
Rogers dribbling it up, guarded by Bayless.
Bayless is long. You know, he's listed at, 6'1", 6'2", but look at his arms. I mean, he's long out there.
McCullough kicks 3-ball, no good by Kelling. Rebound Jaguars. McCullough's tied up by, they're going to say traveled. So Otten tied him up. I thought maybe we'd have a jump ball, but they're just going to say no, he didn't have possession.
Yeah, as he ripped it away, he just took a couple shuffle steps to get himself back steadied, and that's what caused the traveling call. You see down here on the offensive end of the court, Ankeny kind of sneaking along that baseline. We're going to see an alley-oop at some point in this game.
That's something that boys teams will do. You don't see girls teams play against the 2-3 zone with that down low. Come, corner, good.
Late coming out on the shooter, and there are so many shooters on the Hawks team, and it didn't take much space for Come to just drain that one.
6-point lead. Comeback for Centennial. Shot off the mark by Micah Johnson, and the Hawks go quickly up ahead. Nice kick to the corner. Come swings it. 3-ball shot. Good!
These are all with hands and faces. What do you do about that? Hands are in faces. They're hot right now.
Well, that was a 3-ball from Cruz. It's been 3 different Hawks getting the 3-ball, Andy.
And these aren't bad shots. I mean, these aren't shots that are just wide open. I mean, the Hawks are just red hot to start. The only one was Come down here in the corner. All the other shots have been with a hand in the face, and you just have to be so much more aggressive on defense now and extend your defense and really not allow them to catch those passes and shoot in rhythm like they are.
5:40 to play, first quarter. Ankeny out to a 9-0 lead, very similar to the girls'
just
game.
about to say that,
7-0 lead, then a timeout by Centennial. We'll see if that's the case. If you're cheering for Centennial, you're going to like how this ends.
You got a feeling this game is a long ways from over yet. Really red hot, because we've seen Centennial have some nice looks and they can't finish.
Tyler Rogers driving.
I like Rogers as a basketball player. Really good football player,
Really
too.
good football player,
Just
too.
a strong kid out there.
I was looking at his legs, too. Look at his calves on that guy. That's a guy who didn't skip leg day.
No, not a bit.
Whistle beforehand. Hold on.
Got a lot of contact. Each player's been warned right now between
so
Cruz, McCullough and Cruz. Yep.
Yeah, that's McCullough and Cruz. Tyler Eason comes in and makes the warning. Rogers pointing out. Loses the handle for just a moment. Otten way out.
Yeah, that's not where he wants the ball out here for Johnson.
And Otten not afraid to play defense 20 feet away. Up ahead. Missed layup. Put back. Good for Cobb.
You know, Bayless not able to quite finish there, but we got another one. Oh, we got we're going to get another warning right now. Yeah, I've just noticed a little bit here. The Hawks players are letting the Jags know about it every time they make a play, and I think the officials are going to put an end to that here in a hurry.
If not, we're going to be shooting a lot of free throws
Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's going to be a lot of guys sitting.
Yep. They've been warned a couple times now. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to be allowed to happen. Then they can right now, right? I mean, they're hitting everything.
Seversike. Guarded. My goodness, Cruz is all over him. Inside McCullough. Otten left his feet. Doesn't think he was responsible, but it doesn't matter. You don't get to, there's no.
Someone got a hold of an arm. We could hear it from up here.
There's no appealing.
Yeah, there's no replay to find out if there's a foul that was called or not.
So Otten whistled, and the first free throw is no good.
You know, Otten's given up quite a bit of height down there, but he's playing a lot bigger than what he is and really extending his defense. He's a nice little player. I shouldn't say little player, but that dwarfs me. But he's a nice player. He just doesn't look as big hanging out in the post right there for the Hawks.
McCullough gets his first point, and the team's first point. Ends an 11-0 run to start the game for the Jags. Way out now with it, Jackson Smith. Drives. A lot of glass touched on trying to block that one.
You saw this in the first game that I saw Centennial play earlier this year. They'll give up that penetration knowing they've got a couple different rim protectors.
Boy, they're letting him play because that was a whole lot of contact, and then it's going to be a travel.
He was waiting for more and never got it.
Well, and sometimes that throws off your rhythm and your pace.
Yep.
You're expecting contact from the side or from the back.
And that was exactly what happened.
Bayless will dribble it up. Saw him last year sitting on the sidelines at that game in January at Centennial. So he knows the game, just hadn't played in it yet. Nice drive by Cruz.
Yeah, that was a great kiss off the glass by Cruz.
Lead is 12, biggest of the game for the Hawks. McCullough is a long way from home for a guy who scores 16.7.
And he's a long player, too. Yeah, you're right, though. They've got to get him the ball closer to the basket.
Caleb Van Meter into the game. Rogers, nice drive. Blocked, either Otten or Smith. Not sure which one got on him. Shot is missed by Van Meter.
They've got the Jags totally out of sync right now on the offensive end.
Dylan Carlson the rebound. Driving is Bayless. Oh, great tip by Johnson to get his hands in the passing lane. How many times does a coach say that?
Yeah, and it kind of took a while for the official to think through his head what happened there, because you don't see often that the ball gets slapped into the back part of the hoop. That probably should have been called out of bounds. Well, then he got Johnson coming in from out of bounds to catch, and he caught that part of it.
Got to get set before you can touch it again. Inside, Otten, weak side, and one.
We're going to get Seversyke for that. And really not needed it. It was just he was out of position, just kind of gave him a little two-handed token shove, hands on there. And I'm not sure he pushed him a whole lot, but all of a sudden at the end of on the finish, you see the arms extended, and that's what the official saw. And what a start for the Hawks.
15-point lead, a 16-1 run to start the game.
Yeah, you can't ask for much better than this if you're Coach Carlson.
Brandt is fouled by Otten, and that's his second.
That's going to change things up a little here, because he's the big man down low for the Hawks. And that's not needed. I mean, you're 23 feet from the basket right there where that foul is called.
Otten's a kid who played as a freshman for Coach Carlson. He's 2 years now, 3 years into the program. He knows what's expected. He does play hard, but you got to have a little better sense of control.
Now only 5.5 minutes into this game tonight, and we may not see him again for the rest of this half.
Let's see, who'd they bring in? 3-ball, no good. Tipped by McCullough to the guy who missed it, which was Brandt. Drive, and he is fouled. And I think it's Drake Bennett who brought in. Saw Drake's mom in the lobby when I came in tonight. I go, you ready? She goes, oh, no, I'm nervous for this.
Parents take these games a lot harder than the kids do. It's so interesting to see the, with social media, we get a glimpse into what some of these parents are thinking, whether we want to or not on some game days. But, you want to see your kids succeed, right? I promise you the parents get a lot more nervous right now than the kids do before the games.
Brandt misses the first, but connects on misses the second one. You just might be on video a lot more if you're sitting in front. We know it when people sit in front of us, they might be on. It's all right, out of bounds. It'll be Ankeny basketball. 2:19 to play.
They have done a good job of keeping Bayless in check. He, taking in right there, gets it tipped away from him briefly, but everybody else has been hitting everything. Look
off
at that
balance
shot.
Three by Carlson. Dylan hits the three.
The quick, I'm going to draw a parallel here that is going to be way overblown, but that reminded me so much of what Fred Hoiberg used to shoot like, catching it and getting it right up off the catch.
Bayless, three, no good. Reese Pitts was sprinting for the tip, but just mistimed the jump. Nice move. Not able to find it as Callahan, and rebound. Micah Johnson gets the first field goal at 1:36 in the game.
And Johnson able, keeping that alive, and that's what they're going to need a lot more of that. There you see him on the that's Seversyke on the defensive end, sliding in off the penetration in the middle, coming over on the help defense. Again, the charge called.
Jackson Smith on the charge.
Returning to the Hawk lineup, number 10, Jordan Come.
Back in is Rogers. Going out is Brandt. Got a couple of TV cameras here from local news trying to see this game. One of the best games around tonight for both boys and girls in the Metro. North was at Roosevelt. That'll be a good boys game. Indianola at Pella. And another charge.
Yeah, Pitts does a nice job standing his ground, and that's what they're going to have to do against the much bigger Centennial Jags on the defensive end. That's how you offset that that height advantage that the Jags have.
McCullough whistled for it, his first, team number 2. Carlson, give and go. Gets it back now in the corner.
He's a shooter out here.
Nice pass to come. It's going to go off his knee and out of bounds.
He knew it too. There was
did.
From up here, it looked like that was going to go back to the Hawks. But yeah, Cum knew it, just got caught in a bad spot after the tip. Good defense by Kelling.
Kelling, exactly right. Was right there at the right time. Under 45 to play. We're going to have a whistle down low. Foul.
I think we're going to get Pitts. Yeah, Pitts is really battling. You look at that. I mean, Pitts has given up 6-8 inches down low to both Johnson and McCullough.
Johnson gets the long inbound, stolen away. Bayless converts.
So smooth. Braxton Bayless, just so smooth. Effortless to take that to the hoop.
18-point lead again for Ankeny. And the shot won't go. Pitts the board, 25 seconds. Dylan Carlson. Ankeny gonna hold for one. Rogers holding him way out there. The 5 count, 5 seconds. Carlson drives, shoots, blocked! 1 second. Seversike throws will be short. On the mark, just didn't go. 21-3. Ankeny in control of this one. This is CISN.TV.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury, whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it. Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to...
Hey, go Hawks, say the Ankeny fans, as they're up 21-3. Centennial fans get back up on their feet. The girls won it easy for Centennial. Now the Ankeny Hawk boys making it look easy as we begin quarter number 2.
Different type of game. That was kind of gradual throughout. This has just been an onslaught of points, a barrage to get started for the Hawks.
You know, we talked about it in the girls game a little bit, that this Ankeny boys team is fun to watch. And
so quick.
They could be a team to contend with in state this year. Cruz had it for a moment, kind of shake and bake. That's Peyton Fay getting some of his first minutes. Carlson continues out on the court, so does Bennett.
They go deep, don't they? The Hawks have played at 9 guys already in the first quarter tonight.
In fact, Cum and Cruz are the only starters, so
we've seen Pitts get some action as well, so he'd be the other non-starter that's played.
Ben Breeding whistled for his first foul, and driving and fouled is Bennett. Ben Breeding, the tight end for the Jaguars this season.
Look at McCullough. Was that the second for McCullough in just the last about 3 seconds of play?
He had one in the first quarter.
Oh, that other one must have been on Breeding. Okay.
Yeah. Bennett misses the first.
Checking back in for the Jazz, number 42, Micah Johnson.
So Micah Johnson got a break of all of 50 seconds. Bennett converts on the second.
You know, Bennett also one of those guys for the Hawks that are going to have to play a lot bigger than what he is. He's only 6'1", playing in the land of giants down there.
Biggest lead of the game for the for the Hawks, up 19. Nice drive by Rogers.
Not quite able to finish. You know, we've seen a few of that from him tonight. You know, able to get to the hoop, but not quite able to finish. And just a lot of disruptive hands as you drive to the basket and not tipping the ball away. There's some contact to battle through, but the other times there wasn't. Just a lot of deflects that I talked about in that first game. Disruptive.
Rogers misses the free throw.
Boy, they're just cold tonight.
Yeah. And that one, there you go. That's how the jinx works, Andy.
Yes.
Rogers converts. Half of Centennial's points have come via the free throw line. 2 of their 4 come for 3.
You know, and come right there catching it in rhythm, and Kelling's coming over, but he's not able to get there fast enough. Just good ball movement and gets him wide open in the corner.
Hawks clear it on the board. Nice move. Bennett in transition. 3 Hawks, or 3 Jags there, and then they're going to turn it over by stepping on the line.
Yep, Brandt standing on the end line. A lot of hustle out there, but just as he tries to corral it in, you can lose when the ball is flying all over the place. You got to lose track of where you are, and just has his heel stuck on the end line.
Kummel inbound it. Go way out to Carlson up towards the top.
45-foot pass right there.
Dylan Carlson, 3 off the mark, was right trajectory, just wrong distance. Breeding comes, sets the pick.
You're going to know it when Breeding hits you with a screen. That's.
Oh, nice transition bucket. Johnson, as you said, it hit him kind of there in rhythm, but just missed.
Yeah, they're really out of sorts on the offensive end right now, and it's so disruptive. The Hawks defense just has them completely flummoxed.
Cruz drives, left-handed, and he is fouled. No, charge.
Not Breeding, excuse me. Rogers.
Cruz is going to be called for the charge.
Rogers there to sneak under him. I shouldn't say under him. Obviously it wasn't if they call a charge. So he was there set before he went up for the shot.
25-4. All Ankeny Hawks in this boys game.
They're just operating at a different level right now. The game pace is just completely out of what Centennial would like to be doing.
Oh, nice. Cum just steps in front. Now it's a race, 10 on 10. The basket's missed. And Caleb Van Meter will be whistled for the foul.
And I thought Van Meter got away with it initially, but I think maybe as he came down, he made some body contact, because I think initially the block attempt was clean, but he's not able to finish it off. Here comes a fun player to watch, isn't he? He's quick out there. He's in a lot of the action on the court.
I know Coach Rick Nelson, the football coach, is going, hey, I need some more of this quickness again next year on the football field.
I was trying to figure out some of these names here. I don't recognize a ton of them from being out on the.
Well, Pitts played football.
He
Cum
did.
did.
Yep.
Grant Moeller and Manis for Ankeny, and for Centennial, Severside.
Oh, a lot of them, yeah.
And Gray and Breeding and Rogers. So, yeah, a lot of multi-sport guys. And then you got the guys who aren't playing basketball, they're wrestling probably.
Right. That's a little more crossover there.
Timeout. Centennial. And Coach Bob Fontana, whose brother is an assistant on the football team for
and wrestling, I believe, too.
And wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, they're right now. You don't have a 22-point play, right? You're just trying to figure out a way to get a good look at the basket. I mean, the defensive intensity, they're not getting shots that they would like to take. They're taking them quicker than they'd like to take them, and you just naturally press a little bit then, right? When you have a chance to, you maybe see a little bit of an opening, you take it there, but the Hawks, their hands are just so disruptive, quick hands in there, and I don't know the number of steals that they have tonight, but it's a lot.
Yeah, you look around, there's a lot of old coaches that are here.
Oh, yeah.
As I see from other sports. Old volleyball coach Dave Wims is there. Looks like he's like keeping notes. He's not scouting anybody. This isn't volleyball.
Got to know what to talk about over coffee, right?
I guess.
Oh, look
3-point
out.
shot, no good. Not even close. Francis chases down the loose board. Lots of white jerseys in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, another ball just kind of deflected away. And look who comes up with it.
Come up ahead to Bayless. Bayless in transition.
That's pretty. That is, I mean, you've got the Jags trying to figure out who they're going to go defend in that situation. He just pulls up and hits a 12-footer. That's pretty.
Double that, and that's your lead. 24-point advantage now for the Hawks. Johnson. Francis looking for a little bit of help from McCullough, who again, way out from the basket, makes a nice move. Fadeaway, gets it to go.
Yeah, that was, he was able to catch the ball close to the hoop. That's one of the few times they've been able to finish tonight.
3 ball by Cruz is off the mark, and the Jaguars chase down the basketball. Under 4 to play. McCullough, nice pump fake, and 2. So McCullough now on a nice little run, 4-0 by himself. Timeout, Hawks.
Panic time. Not quite.
Other games tonight, I was kind of looking down this list. No Athens and Parkersburg. They played last night.
West Marshall, I believe, right?
Yep, Jessup hosting Hudson tonight.
When do they play? And can we get CISN to go up there?
We can get I don't know when they play. That's a good,
we'll have to figure that out.
The Jessup girls were 5-0 going in tonight.
Okay,
knocked off Dyke New Hartford.
I saw that. That's a big win for them. And actually, the AP girls have had a good season so far as well. The boys are 4-1, 5-1, somewhere in that neighborhood as well. Coach Thomas always has that group rolling. State tournament team a year ago. So
Valley at Mason City, Southeast Polk at Marshalltown, Prairie at Kennedy. A game that I was real curious on the girls' side, North Union at West Hancock. Both of those schools ranked. If you remember at the state tournament last year, North Union had a really nice play. Linmar at Xavier, Johnston at Ames, Dowling at Urbandale, North at Roosevelt, Hoover at Ottumwa, Abe Lincoln at East in the Metro here tonight. Here it's Ankeny in white, Centennial in black. 20-point lead for Ankeny. 4-0 run by McCullough. Otherwise, it's been all Ankeny. Bayless, pump. Oh, he passed it to a cutting player. The problem was it was Preston Kelling wearing the wrong colored jersey.
good job on the help side defense to drop down.
And then Kelling does the exact same thing on the other end. Nice pass.
That's where they've been able to work their way a little bit back into this game right now, is getting McCullough a lot more involved, and he's got the decided height advantage. I kind of wonder how much longer they're going to go with Otten on the bench. I suppose as long as you got an 18-point lead, you're still safe.
Problem is you kind of get out of rhythm.
Look out.
Smith gets it. Under, over, no good. And then picks the pocket. Smith again the floater. He's not going to miss twice.
Yeah, that's a nice, the touch around the hoop for the Hawks players. And they get there, but the touch is just so soft off the glass. Look for the trap here.
In the corner, Rogers somehow gets away with it. And Bayless tips it away to
How
Cruz.
long was Bayless in the air on that? He took like 3 swipes with his hands.
Carlson banks the 3, no good. Rebound, Brady Peterson, who's into the game.
Seen Peterson get quite a few minutes earlier this year. He's not as long as some of the other guys that get out on the court, but he's effective. He's a strong player down there.
They get to him now. Turn around. Good.
Nice touch out of the big man for the Jags.
An 8-2 run by the Jaguars to cut into this lead to make it 18. Nice move and finish by Bayless.
That's not a move you see in Iowa high school basketball a whole lot. The crossover created a lot of separation between him and Rogers, and then the 12-foot silky smooth jump shot.
Well, that's a pretty 3. Kelling's off the mark, and it's Carlson the rebound. And the block, and that's you
the right
see
call.
Francis go down before any contact was made.
I think if he stands his ground, he takes the charge, but there's a lot of acting before the contact was made. It almost looked like an old overacted WWE fight.
You know, Carlson's seen a little less time this season. He played a lot last year with the addition of Bayless, kind of cutting into his time. Carlson making the most of it. And it is a cliche, but by golly, Andy, it's true. Coaches' kids just always have something extra.
You can tell the confidence that he takes his shots with, that the guy has spent a lot of time in the gym. And it's he finds a way to get the ball to the basket.
Second free throw is no good, and it'll go off.
It's interesting. It was off Johnson, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's a situation with all the contact. A lot of times the officials are going to give the ball back. They don't want to call a foul because there's not that much contact, but it obviously had bearing on the play.
Rogers' nice move, and then Fay picked his pocket.
You know, we haven't seen Fay a whole lot in the game tonight, but that disruptiveness is still there no matter who's on the court for Ankeny.
Johnson will inbound it from the end of Ankeny on the south basket. Peterson. And he's going to be fouled before he goes any further by Moeller.
A little spark from Peterson as he comes into the game. Instant offense, a jumper from the free throw line, and now he's at the line once again.
Free throw's no good. Hawks, did you see Bayless's pass? He was looking right or left and threw it right, but then the Hawks aren't able to convert as we're under a minute here in the half. And hopefully, Coach Scott DeYoung will join us. Peterson for three, that's no good. Moeller gets it.
Severside going to get whistled for another one. Not the type of foul you want 90 feet from the other basket.
Centennial foul is on number 30, Gary Severside.
I think that's his second.
A pair of substitutions.
And you're right, Andy. Otten's not going to have to come back in. He's going to end up sitting.
Things look pretty rosy right now for the Hawks.
Carlson on the season from a non-starting role, 15.5 points. Tonight he has 4, but he missed the opportunity for 5 right there on the free throw.
You know, the scoring pace for the Hawks is slowed down, but they're so good right now on the defensive end of the court that it really doesn't matter.
Rogers' 3 was rebounded, and then Johnson went up and he got fouled. So Pitts picks up the foul. That's 2 for him. And that's the 10th team foul, so in the double bonus for the remaining 33 seconds of the half. Johnson, a 75% free throw shooter, connects on the first.
Returning to the Hawk lineup, number 10, Jordan Hunt. And now number 34, Golan Hunt.
Back to a 20-point lead. Go
Naughton comes back in with 33 seconds left in the
half. Well, you know, I don't know about that.
It's a good chance to, honestly, situationally-wise, 20-point lead. Good chance to maybe practice in a situation that's not the most comfortable for you. You've got to learn how to play defense in a little bit of foul trouble.
It won't be the last time that a team tries to get him in foul trouble this season.
No, he's the lone big man for the Hawks.
Rebound Centennial, and the points for Ben Breeding.
Breeding, a talented tight end on the football team.
25 seconds now. Hawks hold for 1. Shot clock off. Oh, wait, that's right. They don't have one.
Not yet.
I don't know.
It's coming, but
every time we think it is, that discussion goes away. Bayless.
Obviously a cost involved to it.
Yeah. Carlson traveled, yep. 4.5 seconds. That was the right time to approach. You just got to dribble and step at the same time. Hawks going to have to play a little bit of defense to hope. And then Carlson gets beat. Three-pointer at the buzzer. No good. From Johnson, come the three. Ooh. Oh, would have been good. Would have counted if it went. Ankeny still in control, 33-15 at the half. A 12-12 second quarter. It was just the 21-3 first quarter that did the Jaguars in. We'll take a break. We'll talk some basketball here. Hopefully recap that girls game with Coach
Just
Scott
got a text that he's on his way.
All right,
so
we'll talk with Scott DeYoung in a minute on CISM.
Stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service. There's no doubt about it.
Year-end closeout event. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. Up to $4,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 months on new 18 Silverados. Including $2,500 and $3,500. 0% for 72 on Volt, Cruise, and Trax. And 2019 Equinox. New 19 Equinox. $245 per month lease. Only $999 plus taxes and fees. Up to $5,500 off. Plus 0% for 72 on all new Tahoes and Suburbans. Hurry in. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Welcome back to Ankeny High School here on CISN.TV. Halftime. The Ankeny Hawks in control 33-15, but it was the Centennial Jaguars in the girls' game that were in control in the second half. Coach Scott DeYoung, who's the only man to coach at both schools. I know that's not, we've talked about that before. I know, it's always a special game to have a rivalry game. But to play in a night like tonight, I know Andy and I were discussing it. This is a great environment to play tonight.
Oh, yeah, the place is packed. The students are having fun right here at halftime. And, it's not many, at least on the girls' side, not many programs have the opportunity to play in front of an environment like this. So it's pretty special.
You're down 7-0, call timeout. We assume what you told them was like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right? Is that all you have to tell them?
Yeah, we say, with some little intervention there, but divine. But Ankeny got out to a great start. They looked calm and good, and they were fired up. And we stayed the course. I think Cleo Murray hit a three to kind of break the ice. And my wife claims we went on a 10-0 run after that. I don't know if that's true or not. But so I was happy how we responded at the beginning there. So. Because you can see what can happen quickly if you don't respond.
11-0.
11-0.
Yeah. So, shown big night for her in the second half, though. Early on, she didn't score any points in the first quarter. 2 in the second, and then the third and fourth quarters really were her. What is it about Rachel? I know she's had the injuries that she's battled, but a healthy Rachel Schoen, she looks as good as she ever has.
Well, I think it was the rebounding. I don't know how many rebounds she had, but she had a ton of rebounds, and she missed some shots, got the rebound, put them back in. She was a force on both sides. And, I thought our inside game kind of really wore them down a little bit. We didn't turn the ball over as much as we had, and that certainly helps too. But she certainly had a good game, great game on both ends of the floor.
Alexandria Kiana Harris, she's got 9 points. Came off the bench, provided a big spark for you as well.
I thought our depth was big, and Alex has had a great season for us. We just have, Kenna Sauer, who's a All-American volleyball player, and Rachel, you saw what she could do tonight. So, and Alex is right there with them. Both ends of the floor she can play. So I thought off the bench, Lily King too was really good on the defensive end, gave us a little fire. So yeah, I thought our depth was a big thing tonight.
And you stole my thunder. You talked about Sauer before I got a chance. So not many points for her, but if you had to do coaching points and give her, I know you have a good way you track lots of things. She's got to be off the charts for all the things she does. Rebounds, deflecting, being in the right place. That one block of McCullough down here, right hand with the block, left hand with the rebound.
I know. And I think on one play, she had 3 deflections on one possession. So those are the little things that you don't see that, that come up pretty big. So
you'll score it that way tomorrow.
That's why it's a team effort.
Yeah, you'll score it that way, right?
Sure.
When you review it
Absolutely.
All right, you kept McCullough out of the game. That's not the first time that you've played a D1 player. What is it when a team has one good, outstanding player? Is it the obvious thing is you take her out of the game? Is that what you got to do, or is there more to it than that?
Well, I think there's 2 things. You can stop everybody else and let them get their points, or you can try to stop them. We try to stop the good players because, they can beat you single-handedly, really, and control the game. But I thought we had good matchups between Meg Burns and Kenna. We could put 2 kids with length and quickness on her, and we're able to keep her from having any open shots. They got us a little bit on the inside, but I thought our ball pressure and play off the ball was good, too, tonight.
You're headed to Wells Fargo Arena for a regular season game.
Yeah, that's
I know
too
you'd like to
bad.
get back there in late February. How'd this one come about with Roosevelt?
Well, I know Ankeny plays there in a couple weeks. It must be some promotion they have there. I think you can take your ticket then and go to, is it the Iowa Is it the?
They're the Wild.
The Wild now.
Yes.
You can go to one of their games. So just a great, I think it'll be a fun opportunity. And if you'd happen to get fortunate enough to make the state tournament, you've played a game there. So it must be something that they're trying to really do to promote using that facility a little more. So it's great.
But your team gets a chance to play there. Didn't play there last year, but you get that opportunity to take them, and they see the baskets and the lights. And I mean, that's one of those things. That's a great home court advantage for you.
Yes, it's certainly. And the last 4 seasons, really, or 5, I don't know how many. We've had great seasons. We just haven't finished it quite the way we wanted. Meg Burns has been injured. She was back, I think, pain-free. I just think this team's we got a lot of upgrowth, a lot of improvement that we can make. And I really think at the end of the year, we're going to be a team that could be really, really solid because I think we'll improve a lot.
I know that Valley was a swear word for last season that knocked you out in the regional final. You play them last Tuesday night. Zoe Young is one of the best players in the state. Alex Honnold, though, is just always outstanding. Those 2, that's a great one, too.
Well, and don't forget Fuller.
Don't forget Shea Fuller.
And then the other kids. So Zoe had a great game, and I thought Kenna played great defense against her. It was a really good matchup. Kenna fouled out, unfortunately for us, but Honnold had 20 points, and I don't know, it seemed like 20 rebounds. So that's a really, really, really good team. I see they're rated number 1 now. You look at our league, Dowling about beat Valley. Dowling did beat Southeast Polk. Johnson beat Waukee. The 6 teams in our league, I really think you could get 5th or 6th in our league, and you could be a legitimate state tournament team. I think in my mind, there's no question about that. That's how strong it is.
And make a great run at state.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And that's one of those things we've talked about in the office about, I've been telling the people at IPTV, I said, hey, 5A could be all CIML, could be 6 CIML teams, no doubt.
There's other good teams too. I just know the 6 teams in our league are really, really good. Yes. And then you throw Valley, you throw Southeast Polk, Urbandale in our league. They've got Division I players, and then they're so. I'm glad we got this win because they're going to be hard to come by for the next few months.
Roosevelt, then Ames, then Dowling, and so Caitlin Clark then is who you have to contend with, and she's another one of those tough matchups.
Yeah, I don't know how you can guard her. So
I don't think anybody has figured that out yet.
It's correct. It is a team game, though, so I like our team. They like each other. They like to compete. So, I just think we'll be really tough, as well as a lot of other teams in our area for the schedule we play. We'll be really tough and tested at the end of the season.
We appreciate your time as always, off the season or out of season, during the season and games. Always thank the insight that you provide.
Absolutely.
And the time.
It's nice that you can do this. I know that a lot of my family isn't around and can watch this, and you guys do a great job. I don't know if this guy knows anything about football or not, but I know he's got 2 girls that are really four. I know they're probably good singers, but I know they'll be good athletes too. So
they're not bad at all.
Maybe they can play and sing the national anthem when they get up there.
It wouldn't be the first Pollock to do it. That's for
right,
sure.
Right.
Coach
awesome.
Coach Scott DeYoung will take a timeout. Be back second half after this on CISN.
Fletcher in Ankeny. Words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
For a reliable recommendation, trust the Better Business Bureau, protecting consumers for over a century. When you go to bbb.org to check out a business, you'll learn if it's BBB accredited, see its grade on customer service, and read honest, useful reviews from local people. For online recommendations you can trust, start with trust at bbb.org/Iowa.
CISN.TV, Paul Yeager and Andy Pollock. Welcome back to Ankeny High School for half number 2 and game number 2, Andy. And thanks to Scott DeYoung. And
he's fun to talk to, isn't he?
He is. You know, he's really into you because you've got the 4 girls. I don't know if I don't know if he'll make it all the way. I think he will. He's one of those guys that he'd coach a long, long time if you let him. That guy's coached a long time, loves the game.
Well, and let's face it, the height genes from my end here of the commentary is a little bit longer than the height genes from the Yeager side.
Yeah, that's right.
I look like a legit color analyst up here. We haven't got the box for you to stand on yet for any live shots, but once we get to that point, we know I've arrived.
Well, let's just say, 2 Division III athletes and none on this other side. That makes a big, big difference. So 33-15. If you're Centennial, what are you saying if you're at half?
Well, I mentioned before you don't have that 18-point play to get yourself back in the game initially, but we saw some success towards the end of the first half getting the ball inside to McCullough, and, they took advantage of not having Otten in the game, and we'll see right now. I mean, you can tell he's posting up hard, or Johnson posting up hard, and they got to be able to get the ball down low. That's all there is to it. They're not going to beat him in a perimeter game.
Pushes the tempo up to Cruz, and it'll be off Cruz out of bounds. It'll go back to Centennial.
We talked several times, Ankeny so disruptive, and I heard Coach DeYoung talk about the deflections that Sauer had throughout the course of that last game, and there's been so many of them from the Ankeny boys in this basketball game, just constantly taking Centennial out of rhythm.
Rogers gets a step and then kicks it into the corner, and it's a 3-point shot for Cody McCullough.
Foot on the basket. Foot on the line. That's the worst shot in basketball right there, the foot on the line.
Coach Hoiberg never liked that, did he?
Good board by Rogers.
So the lead 16. Really, if you're Centennial, it's one possession at a time.
There's 3.
He's going to get 3. And he knew it. Is there anything he can do to not pick up the foul there?
No, because it starts off here, the penetration. Rogers, catches, I believe it was Smith, caught him out here. I know Smith was expecting help. He didn't have it, and it was stuck with a one-on-one with a full head of steam coming from Rogers. And, that's trouble for Otten right now.
Well, Otten doesn't play for the majority of the first half. He got that first foul early, then the second foul not much longer or later. Gets out of the ribbon. See, he's asking what he can do.
The answer is nothing. I mean, you got to have more help on the perimeter from the defense and not let the guy come in to make a move on you. I mean, he's the one that's aware of coming over to help on defense, but sometimes there's just times that you're put in a bad situation.
Rogers hits both free throws. Back to a 14-point lead, so this one's far from over all of a sudden. Otten makes a move, drives, gets it back.
Good out.
Corner,
pass.
3. Jackson Smith.
You know, no one on the court could see that it was going that way, and he was looking this way and swung it all the way over to the other side of the court. Threw a lot of hands, but there's so much zip on the ball. As quick as it got there, a wide open look for Smith.
Rogers doing a good job trying to create. Nice move to Johnson. Stripped by Bayless.
Quick hands again.
Bayless opposite numbers in his favor, and doesn't matter.
So good around the hoop. And away from it. Who am I kidding?
Bayless now with 6. Ankeny with 37. Travel on Centennial.
Just got Shannon a little bit out of rhythm. I'm not sure we saw Tyler Shannon play in the first half.
I was just going to say the same thing. I don't even have him on my one list here.
I'm trying. Seversyke did he have 2 or 3 fouls in the first half? Because he has not played in the second half yet.
Well, if you're not feeling it, you got to go with something that's going to work. And now Shannon sits down.
Keaton Gray off the bench right away now to play as well.
Otten was not the intended receiver, but Cruz was. His fade away. Otten. Oh, great block, Johnson.
And Otten, you know, it's a mismatch down there. Otten's a strong guy, but sometimes you just can't get over that length that the bigs down low for the Jaguars have.
Heart and muscle can do you a lot, but when you're outgunned with the length, you're not going to be able to do it. Nice conversion, and McCullough's looking to excite his crowd.
Yeah, he also gave the official a little bit of a look as he battled through some contact there, but you got to be careful because that's officials don't like you second-guessing them at times.
McCullough now with 11. Slow start for him, 1 point in the first quarter, 6 in the second. He's got 4 here in the second half.
And we haven't heard as much, Cum hit a few big shots in that first half, first quarter in particular. Haven't seen quite as much from him.
Touch shot by Smith is off the mark. Gray kicks.
There's Cum. Quick hands.
And again, get your hands in the passing lane. And that's exactly what Centennial did. So that at least slow the onslaught that was coming.
Yeah, there hasn't been as much transition happening for the Hawks. That's where they were really, that's what really helped them get out to that lead to start the game. They were, finding their shooters in transition. We saw 3 straight three-pointers to start the game. Like I said, not in the initial break, but that they call the secondary break, is that time where the defense really thinks they're okay. Find our guy to go defend, and that's when they hit you with it. It's tough spot on a defense.
Carlson's off. Cum tips it to Centennial. Johnson going to get picked. Cum for 2.
Yeah, and Johnson's not who you want handling the basketball out there.
Centennial takes a timeout, and so will we.
Believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Ankeny student body making some noise. Their team up 19 points, 40-21. Paul Yeager, Andy Pollack here from Ankeny High School on this Friday night. 4th game of the season for both of these squads, and it's been all Ankeny.
It really, right from the start. 9-0, well, it was 16-1, I know, at one point. When did, was it 11-0 when they scored their first point?
Yeah, and it wasn't until the 3-minute mark in the second quarter that Centennial broke double digits as pushing it up ahead.
Yeah, the Hawks not quite able to get back in there off their full court press. Nice quick layup from McCullough.
And a drive and a foul for Smith.
Smith real close there to being able to finish that, and that was a very athletic move to get the ball up anyway. You know, looking back, I was able to catch a little bit of your halftime interview with Coach DeYoung. Had a chance before the game to talk with Coach Drew McAnally. Did I say that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and fun guy to talk to as well. We are really fortunate in Central Iowa with some excellent coaches, not only for the kids, but they treat us well as well. I mean, just some guys that are good to know and good to talk to. It's makes our job a lot easier here. I mean, they're very willing to give us a lot of information. I know I've been invited to practices to sit and chat and see what's going on, and that's invaluable as a guy that sits up here to be able to see how they're practicing, what the emphases are.
Both free throws are good for Smith. And, you know, Coach DeYoung, he started in the 6-player game.
Yeah, one of the coaches that had to make the transition.
It worked out okay for him. Rogers' pocket is picked up ahead. Hawks have numbers. Carlson. Now that's pretty.
The English off the hoop. I'm not sure if that got picked up on the camera or not, but just a quick little extra wrist flip, and that's what propelled the ball over top of the – look at that. I mean, well, Gray does come away with it, but, man, the hands. Nice finish by Keaton.
Keaton just runs right into Otten, and Otten doesn't move. Nice pass. Cut. Carlson couldn't do it twice in a row. Now the tempo's picking up, and Otten just picked up number 4.
You know, he was in position that he wouldn't have had to do that, and he just kind of reached out with his hand and made contact with the shoulder. It's that's going to earn him a spot on the bench.
Here comes Drake Bennett.
Just one of those situations where, I mean, they're up by 19 points, so it's not as invaluable to have them off the court, but it's not a situation where you want to earn that 4th foul.
2 points tonight for Otten.
He's done a lot of things, though, on the floor, defensively especially.
Preston Kelling getting his first points of the game with a free throw here. Now that's quick. Come, left side. Nice rebound up ahead to McCullough, but Cum just picked his pocket.
Look out. Unselfish.
Carlson misses the open look, and then Carlson tips it to Bayless. Bayless says, I'm going to travel. Not what he wanted. He wanted to pass it, get that assist. It just didn't work out.
Super unselfish, first of all. You know, not quite able to finish there, but just operating. I said it in the first half, but just operating in a different gear. Their quickness level is off the charts. I mean, there's nothing that the Jags have done that's come easy tonight, and it's all because of, you know, watching Cum and Smith and Bayless. I mean, those guys they're so disruptive. I mean, Carlson, we've seen him make some plays as well. It makes it so tough on an offense. It's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating.
44-26, shot off the mark, and Bayless
didn't close out after the shot.
Kind of I won't say a lazy foul, but not a lack of focus.
Right,
foul.
correct. And it just starts with not closing out, not boxing out after the shot. He's done so many things on the offensive end of the court right now. We'll give him a pass on that one because he's been a spark. Love the smoothness that he operates with as well.
Good battle down low between Bennett and McCullough. Brandt. Fade away. And 2.
That's a nice move by Latham Brandt. You know, and Carlson was playing good defense. You can't play much better for a guy that's given up a couple inches, but I'm so impressed by that ability to finish at the basket. I mean, that's such a sweet kiss off the glass.
Double pick, draws a foul.
Centennial foul is charge number 32, Keaton Gray.
Keaton Gray. Not sure how Keaton was there. So Keaton, the defensive back and backup quarterback for Centennial.
Comes from a pretty athletic family as well, despite his father's genetics.
Loose ball chased down by the Hawks.
It's a West Marshall family as well. We got to talk about them earlier.
Yeah.
Grays.
And, you know, Gray's so athletic, they let him. Well, how does he contribute to the football team? Running the chains. Three-point shot is good for Jaron Cruz.
You know, and Cruz, we haven't heard much from him. But, man, leave him open on the side. They shoot so well, too. I mean, it's hard to find many flaws with the individual play of these guys for Ankeny. The part where they might struggle down the road is any team that might be able to neutralize their guard court. They don't have that post presence, and that's not a knock on Otten at all. But the guy's 6'4". I mean, he plays bigger than that, but you're going to see some 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" kids as the season goes on. And if there's a guard court out there, I haven't seen him yet, but if there's a guard court out there that can play toe-to-toe with Ankeny, it's the post presence that's going to be what makes him hard.
Carlson, put on a dribbling show before half, and he's trying to do it again. This is from way out. Not exactly sure what he's doing, and coach, his father, saying, I don't know what you're doing either. That's not going to go over well, and then all of a sudden Rogers converts it to 2 up the other way. And then stolen away by Centennial. Rogers, and he's fouled in a not smart foul.
Ankeny has
by Cruz.
Yeah, not as much foot movement. Earlier they were getting those deflects, and they were not getting called because they were there. They were in good defensive position. And the feet are slowing up a little bit right now. Some heavy legs are showing up.
Oh, they're going to call Drake Bennett and say that he made contact on intercepting that.
Whistle came from way down low. We had both officials up top. We're going to let it go.
So Bennett was the spell for Otten. Even though it's a 17-point lead, there's a little bit of drama building here. We got foul trouble.
The ball handling for Ankeny is going to be able to make it very difficult still on the Jags to be able to really get a foul on. If you get in a foul situation, the quickness. There's another disruptive hands.
Smith finishes.
Just playing at a pace they don't want to play at right now.
And one for Cody McCullough.
I'm not sure. Are they going to get Cruz for that? There, okay.
Cruz is third. Team number 7, so we're shooting free throws the rest of the way for Centennial.
It's interesting the way this game started off. I mean, they have 23 points in the first quarter. Ankeny,
yeah, 21-3.
The tempo has slowed down quite a bit. Really, they've played neck and neck since that point. But just such a fast start for Ankeny.
For the Hawks, it's number 4, Reese Pitts.
Reese Pitts comes back in.
I haven't seen much of him in the second half. Played quite a bit in the first half.
If there is also an award for all hair, this Ankeny team is absolutely in the running. Gray nearly picks the pocket of Cum, and then there's a foul. No, timeout. Keaton Gray says, I'm not putting up with that.
It's a great effort because Cum kind of had him on his heels, and then just like that, Keaton reaches in and tips it away. I think he was getting a little flustered.
Ankeny in control, but timeout on the floor. We'll step away.
Miss your hometown clothing store? The one that had it all? Everything to get the work done, all in one place? G&L Clothing is your hometown Iowa store. Stop in and see us, or we're only a click or phone call away. Family owned for nearly a century. G&L Clothing, 1801 Ingersoll, Des Moines.
G&L Clothing, your size, your style, we got it all.
Third quarter's been kind of interesting, Andy.
Yeah, the tempo has been up and down. See some a lot of players working awfully hard out there.
12 seconds to go before the end of the quarter. Nice drive and finish.
Kind of started to make this a basketball game again.
Lathan Brandt.
It's been off the bench. It's been sparks off the bench. We saw, you know, that Jaguars bench was the most excited I've seen it all night with Keaton Gray's play right before the break there. And now Lathan Brandt's hit a couple shots in the second half and have a chance to make this a 13-point game going in the fourth quarter.
Well, this is the closest Centennial has been since the beginning of the quarter. They got it within 14. And now it's the closest it's been since all the way back in the first quarter when it was 15-1.
They've really ratcheted up the pressure on the defensive end as well. You know, actually it's been Centennial getting the buckets in transition.
Carlson with 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, pulls up in 3. They're going to call him with an offensive foul.
Keaton Gray running step by step with him down the sideline, and just to create a little bit of separation before shooting, he clears out with his arm. The official is right on top of it.
0.4 seconds.
Put the quarterback in to trigger it from the sideline here.
We got a whole bunch of guys that came in that aren't supposed to be in.
Getting everything squared away here. Because they're going to try to lob one up for him underneath the basket. So kind of the officials are talking here. Kind of a shoving match between Johnson and Carlson. Everybody claiming they didn't do anything, of course.
Well, Easton's been around a while. Gray's baseball pass tipped. They're going to count it.
They have to. It was off the basket. It did not go off it was not tipped. Look at this.
And they're good. Are they going to get the bucket to? We'll sort it out, but man, we got ourselves a ball game. 11-point deficit for Centennial. They're coming all the way back, and so are we for quarter 4.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy, we love saving too. Saving the environment by supporting tree planting, which improves air quality. Saving money by investing in wind energy, which keeps rates low. And saving you energy by providing tips to help make your home more energy efficient. Which means you can take those savings and put your energy into having fun. Saving definitely feels great. So does being obsessively, relentlessly at your service. There's no doubt about it. Saving feels great. At Mid-American Energy,
Centennial goes on a 23-16 run in the third quarter to pull it with 11, the closest they've been since the first quarter. Now, remember, no lot and 4 fouls back on the court. There's also quite a bit of foul trouble for the rest of the Ankeny team.
Well, they've been, you know, the feet aren't quite as quick, so there's been a lot more contact with the upper body as they go for those deflects and the steals they were getting early in the game.
Now, see, Carlson could have been called for a push-off there.
Easily could have got one there, yep.
And didn't. So Carlson makes it 51-38.
No, really some sparks off the bench. Jags using a little bit different lineup in that third quarter than we've seen them use very much this season. Brandt and Gray providing the spark. Carlson, another foul.
Cruz. Jaron Cruz, I think that's 4.
Oh, that's Cruz. That was away from the
Jerron
basketball.
Cruz,
Okay.
that's 4. And he has 4. So Otten has 4. So does Cruz. And making the free throw is McCullough with now 16.
Centennial in the double bonus, so they'll shoot 2 for a long time here. You know, give the Jags credit. They didn't panic when they got down by 20 early on. They've been able to slowly but surely work their way back in. No huge runs, that we've seen. No 8-0, 10-0 type runs, but just a couple. Outscore them 6-2 here, 8-4 there, and just like that, you're back in the game.
And now it's back to an 11-point advantage for Ankeny. Bayless drives, travels.
He kind of stumbled a little bit. I don't know if there was. He knew what he wanted to do with the basketball, but just kind of his feet got crossed up. You don't see a dribbler get his feet crossed up very often, but got him stumbling, and that's what led to the turnover. Chance to cut it back into single digits for the first time since the first quarter right now.
Seversyke back in, Gray to the bench. Gray, huge spark in the third quarter for Coach Fontana. Rogers, guarded by Carlson. Nice drive by Rogers. McCullough finishes for 2.
You notice no one very aggressive for Ankeny really to try to stop him once he got that rebound. You've got Peck down there playing with 4 fouls, and he doesn't want to become a part of it. But at some point, that you've got to get back to what brung you, and that was them playing really hard.
The lead is under 9, at 9. Otten just been taken out of this game, and now the Hawks taking some clock. Nice drive. Blocked by McCullough on Smith's shot.
That's a mismatch. I mean, McCullough knew what he was doing too, right? He was allowing him to penetrate because he knew that he had the big height advantage if he took him there.
Johnson drives and is fouled by Cum underneath.
Now, Cum actually in pretty good position, but McCullough up in the air. Yeah, McCullough up in the air so much that as Cum tries to box him out, he ends up undercutting him.
Well, the only good thing for Ankeny is that's Cum's first foul.
You've seen Ankeny now watch a 20-point lead evaporate, and it's important right now as a team that you don't pressure yourself. I mean, they were playing so free and easy in that first quarter when they got it. We have not seen that from them since the first quarter.
Both free throws go for McCullough. The lead is 7.
What's he at, 18 points tonight?
And now he has 20.
20, okay.
Bayless.
The whole gym is back into it right now. The momentum has certainly shifted.
The Centennial fans could easily ask Ankeny fans why so quiet. Otten.
No rush for Ankeny.
Transition, no.
It's not the shot you want right there. I don't see the advantage of that shot. There's no shot clock. The 17-foot fadeaway, I don't think that's a good look.
Rogers, 3! Almost. Boy, this place would have gotten loud.
For certain, it got loud even by him missing it.
That's true, too. Otten. Smith drives, kicks. Bayless.
Traveled again.
Oh, he traveled. That easily could have been a foul, too.
Yeah, he took a little skip right before the contact was made. I think it's the right. You're right, though. I think if he doesn't call him for that, then an offensive foul is coming up next because McCullough was certainly set. Man, I did not see this game coming to this point after that first quarter.
Similar to last year's January contest when Centennial came back down 20. So this can happen. Great drive and miss. And that Otten was going, seriously, how could I be called for the foul? That was the look that he gave.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to get Johnson, for Centennial. Yeah, you're right, because Peck was thinking there was contact between him and McCullough. Him and Johnson. They got Johnson for it.
Only the first foul for Johnson.
we haven't seen Ankeny be able to operate at the pace they were operating at early on. And I don't know that this is a team yet, at least at this stage of the year, that's comfortable playing too much of a half-court game. And they were at such there it is again, yep.
And Kama foul he doesn't need to make. That was a frustration foul. And, yeah, this is one of those, this was not what you were expecting in a character-building.
Yeah, the defensive intensity has not been there, and that's what led to a lot of their shots, a lot of their transition buckets early on, and they've not been able to get those recently. And credit the Jaguars. I mean, they've settled down. They've been a lot more protective of things. They understand where their playmakers are, able to get the ball to McCullough, and he's got a decided advantage out there on the court. And we've mentioned several times, but the spark that Keaton Gray has provided off the bench.
The lead is back to 5. 7-0 run for Centennial. Timeout, Ankeny. All of a sudden, the Hawks are clawing for their lives. The final 4:16 when we come back.
Fletcher in Ankeny. Words cannot even begin to describe our Sunday brunch. You won't find a better Sunday brunch than what's being prepared for you. Try it this Sunday. The Fletcher, North Ankeny Boulevard in Ankeny.
Jaguars on a 7-0 run. And actually, it's longer than that here.
It goes back to the last quarter, I believe.
12-2 run.
Well, they had 5 points real quick at the end of the last quarter, including the catch and shoot with 0.4 seconds left off the backboard, and able to put it in.
It's an easy thing to say when a guy gets 2 fouls, 3 fouls, doesn't play, doesn't get into the flow, but absolutely, Otten has been taken out of this game, and when he has had to be in, it has been real hard for him to get back into any type of flow. And I think his team feeds off a lot of his energy.
Well, and he's the big defender down there, right? I mean, you look out on the court now, there's no one taller than, 6'2", playing for Ankeny, and there's 2 guys at 6'7" for Centennial.
So Otten on the bench right now. That's probably a pretty smart move because you want to save him for the last few minutes. And, yeah, if you want to go small, nice move and drive. So Cruz attacks, and that's maybe one of the things they talked about in the timeout is kind of take it at him. Let's get us on the line, and that's where they'll go now because that's the 7th team foul.
And that's not what they were doing here the last 12 minutes of this game. Just you didn't see the attacking that they were doing so much of earlier on. And the Jags, they're going to allow that too. I mean, they've got the rim protectors. They're going to allow the penetration knowing that there's a pretty good chance they're going to block the shot if they take it in.
Cruz misses it. He was a 100% free throw shooter coming into the game. Only on 4 attempts, but he makes the second. Lead back to 6. Cruz now with 9. Under 4 to play. Three-pointer off the mark.
Yeah, really not close at all.
Johnson, I'm not, again, one of those not sure why he's taking that shot either.
Yeah, their advantage is down low right now. It's a 6-point game, 4 minutes left. I mean, you don't need to be taking that shot right now. Get the ball down low.
Gray is back on the floor for Centennial. Smith. Carlson.
5-guard line. Oh, nice look.
Underneath, Bunny missed. Second, third attempt, Bayless missed 2 bunnies.
There's a lot of contact, or a lot of, the second one I believe was blocked.
All the way and underneath, Carlson gets the rebound.
Numbers.
Rogers can't finish it. 2 on 3. Floater won't go. That's something that might go in the first half, but not in the fourth quarter.
They just haven't been able to finish as much here.
Gray drives. No good. Boy, could have gotten Johnson on a swing there. Carlson
so many missed layups on both sides. I mean, they're challenged, but
Gray and Carlson, this is a fun matchup with these two.
Yeah, there's no backing down on either side, and it's they're both exhausted. I mean, you look at those 2 guys out there; they are exhausted. They've given everything in this game.
Hawks by 6.
This is where, the Centennial's going to have to bring the defense out now.
Bayless going to have to dribble on the 5 count there. He drives, kicks. Corner 3. No.
Big rebound.
Smith missed it, but the tip and the board, and they'll do it again.
Everyone on the court is spent right now. There's not a whole lot left.
One thing Coach Carlson said, his team's got to not get caught up in the emotion of a rivalry game.
Well, they definitely came out as the aggressors. I mean, they had the emotion, they had the aggressiveness early on, and that's why we're in the position we are right now.
And Andy, you've seen it when a team gets super up for their rival. They sometimes will expend way too much energy. That's off the mark. By Cruz, you can psych yourself out and wear yourself down a little too much, and I'm wondering if that's maybe what happened here.
Yeah, because they came out at a torrid pace.
3, no, for Kelling. Rebound. Jaguars put back good for Micah Johnson.
It's that down low game, and the Centennial coaches are pointing out who they want to foul. They've already given the signal, and it's Carlson. They're all yelling Carlson. That's who they're going to, I don't have the stats in front of me, but Carlson's the one they want the foul to be on.
The lead is 4, the drive, and the score!
Great take. I've been waiting for that in the second half from Braxton Bayless. Just haven't seen him take it at the hoop a whole lot.
I think that's what you're going to see in the final minute and a half. 3-pointer, Rogers missed. Rebound to Cruz. And now you're going to foul him?
There's where they want the foul right there.
And Gray is whistled. Carlson, a 66.7% free throw shooter. He's got 6 points.
Yeah, this is the situation they wanted to be in, though. That's who they were all signaling.
Gray, his second.
Gray's going to take a quick break. They're going to have him off on offense, but I can bet you'll see him right back in on the defensive end. That guy has been a huge spark off the bench tonight.
Carlson, good.
Carlson says, go ahead and foul me. I've done this a million times.
And I have to make up for a couple of those shots that I took that maybe I'm going to hear about.
Might hear about later tonight, yeah.
Think about when he shot it from that Hawk logo.
Yeah.
Carlson hits in that
with a minute 15 left in the half.
Yeah, that one might be something that he gets a talking to. 8-point lead, back for no good for Centennial. And now if the Hawks can just dribble it out, it's just a matter of who's going to get fouled. I'd foul Smith. Except he's the best free throw shooter on the team at 77.8%.
You're just stuck in a situation that he's the guy you have to foul right now, and Smith knows it. I mean, he's going to take it. And
good awareness to get it to him, so he could get fouled. Because everybody in the building knows what's coming.
You have to at this point, yep.
Rogers is whistled and missing the free throw. All that talk does you nothing.
They don't have too much time here. They've got to get a shot off.
Sieversyk, no good. Carlson, the board, up ahead to Jordan Cum. He's going to dunk it or just lay it in. Cum with point number 12, huge for the Hawks.
That's going to do it.
Back to 10. Rogers misses the 3. Rebound. Putback is good for McCullough. Now with 22. But it might just be a little, too late.
They kind of gave everyone here a thought that maybe the Jags had a chance to come back in. But as you know, Ankeny, when they are playing their game, they are tough. I mean, you saw them, they get back into the transition bucket here, the drive and dish game. I mean, that's when they're at their best.
And now the fans at the timeout, all of a sudden the traffic gets pretty bad when you're trying to get back up to 18th Street.
We'll let them clear out for
Boulevard
us. Yeah, I've got to make that trip back to the north side of town. You're right here.
You got your money's worth tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
This boys game, I mean, even though it was 20, you just never felt that Ankeny, that it was over.
And they really just scratched and clawed, got their way back into the game. But I'm telling you, watching these Ankeny guards, these Ankeny guards are something else. All of them. And you saw times they're using a 5-guard lineup tonight. And to to be able to get away with that.
Kind of let that one go just a little bit longer than I think the Ankeny fans wanted.
It turned into a lot of contact. Yes, and that's where, as an official right now, you have to make sure the game, for all intents and purposes, is over right now. But
well, let's remember how this game started. When I think there were 3 warnings.
Yeah,
issued.
right away. It got pretty chippy early on, and
so now Bayless will go to the line.
What do we have Bayless for here?
I've only
tonight?
got him for 8.
Okay, and it's been quiet. They've. But, man, when that guy has the ball in his hands, there are some smooth moves that he makes.
We need Reese Pitts on the floor for the all-hair team right now.
What about me?
Yeah, oh, and Jordan Cum, who's on the all-hair team. And that'll do it. Hawks will win. The home team wins for the first time in 6 tries in this one. 58-50. But it wasn't easy, Andy.
No, it wasn't. I mean, it sure looked like it was going to be early on, right? We saw a 20-point lead evaporate. What did they get it down to, 4? I think 4 was the closest
they got it within 4 when Johnson.
Here in the fourth quarter.
When Micah Johnson hit that bucket. 22 points for Cody McCullough tonight. He started slow, but, man, quarters 2, 3, and 4, he really got going. You all right? You all right? All right, because Coach is going to need you on Tuesday nights. Too much popcorn. You should have shared that with us. Ankeny wins 58-50, so a split tonight. Hawks win the boys, Jaguars win the girls game, and Jordan,
what's our Nats sound like here?
Yeah,
Are they able
Cody
to pick that up?
McCullough, 22 points for Centennial. He leads all scorers. 5 points for Micah Johnson, 2 for Keaton Gray, but Gray did way more than just score points tonight. He was absolutely sensational in the second half. 6 for Brandt, 2 for Breeding, 5 for Rogers, 2 for Kelly, and 2 for Peterson, and no points for Cameron Francis. For the Hawks, who improved to 4-0. Led tonight by Jordan Cum, 12 points. He had a lot of steals and a lot of hands and passing lanes. 11 for Jackson Smith, 9 for Jaron Cruz, 8 for Dylan Carlson, as well as Braxton Bayless. And 1 for Drake Bennett, 2 for Nolan Otten. I don't think Otten's going to have many points like that as the season goes. The games like that where he's held only 2.
Right, and it really, it's not a team that's focused around him, but his role is so important as really the only big man out there for Ankeny. So finding a way to keep him on the court, and maybe you have to get a little. And tonight they didn't need him per se. They were ahead. They were playing with the house money, getting out to a 20-point lead the whole game. So you have a chance to maybe play him in some of those situations that he otherwise maybe wouldn't be on the court to pick up that 4th foul right after his 3rd foul, that type of situation. It gives him a chance to play that way because he's going to be very important for this team as it comes down the stretch.
When Bayless hit his bucket at about 4 minutes left in the second quarter, it was a 27-4 game. That was the biggest lead of the game at 23 points.
And it looked like we might be heading out of here really early
we
tonight.
would have been done running clock type of a thing.
Yeah, it was. But again, that guard play, Ankeny gets you in transition. They drive. They're not necessarily a drive and dish team, although we did see them find they're not a drive and everybody converges on the basket like a team with bigs would be. They're a drive, kick out for the 3 as everybody collapses, and they're fun to watch. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed watching this Hawks team tonight.
Ankeny now 4-0. Centennial falls to 1-3. The Jaguars will play Tuesday at Wells Fargo Arena against Des Moines Roosevelt, where the Hawks will be at Southeast Polk and then at Urbandale next Friday night. Next webcast that you'll see here on CISN.TV is Tuesday for wrestling. Wednesday, the show at Thunderhead Bar and Grill in Ankeny, just over here on Oro Labor, if you want to come over and see the crew at 6 o'clock. We'll be talking, and then Friday we're where? Oh, Ames at Centennial. I think we have that game too next Friday night.
All right.
All right. For Andy Pollock, for Pete Tarpey, I'm Paul Yeager. Tonight, the Ankeny girls fall to Centennial 49-27, and the Centennial boys fall to the Hawks 58-50. For the crew here at CISN.TV, thank you for watching. Have a great night.